Welcome, folks, to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast. Welcome back, everyone. Kind of felt like I came in with a little NPR vibe. So, welcome back, everyone. Big week in wrestling. We have a lot to cover of just news here on the channel. First and foremost, I did get a phone call from one vacant the other day. He wanted to be on the pod. I said we only got two mics. You can't be on this week. You already took my spot on the show. And you lost the title, whatever. So which leads us to, I think, a little news over on this side of the table. We do have results from, obviously, no spoilers, but spoilers. If you watch the podcast, you're all caught up. We have results from the latest Stache Club quiz, as well as, I would say more importantly, maybe in some circles, the SCW Predictions Championship. I didn't really, I was at Turnstile during the shows. I was able to watch live. I was able to watch the first 3 or 4 matches of All Out before I had to leave, and then I caught up on WrestlePalooza and All Out. But you, I think, kind of kept track of predictions. So if you kind of give me a rundown of how the night went with predictions, talk to me.
Enough! God, John, God! If only you can give me an actual intro with I don't know. That's my best Cody impression. What do you think?
With that Dean Withers kid. Yeah. God, and was it? How many times have I asked you to respect me?
I don't think he was doing a Cody impression.
No, he was not. It's just him.
Oh, so funny. Then Drew used it. And,
to respect me and God.
I've watched that video like
funny.
100 times. It's crazy. All Out results. We didn't. I don't think we shook hands and locked in a few of the matches because they was kind of up in the air at that point.
I think the only thing was missing was the tag.
Maybe right? The tag team match.
I kind of counted it as you. Because you when you text me, you text you text me bro kings with question marks, and I think I locked in Bucks maybe. Okay. So I half count it, half not. I don't think it mattered. I don't think it changed anything.
Yeah.
Especially because you got Bro Tito right anyway. But carry on.
I clocked Mark Briscoe defeating MJF.
Yeah, that was good.
That was pretty crazy. And then I also too. Fastest rising podcaster in the game. I also took the time out of the busy wrestling weekend to watch MJF's CMLL match against Mystico.
I didn't end up watching it. I wanted to watch it.
You should.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Good. Yeah.
But with that being said, I think I either maybe smidged beat you at All Out, maybe we tied, but then WrestlePalooza took a nice trip to Sweep City, 5-0. And what a show it was. Oh, apparently not a good show in terms of ESPN's viewing of it. We'll get to that later. But still your SCW predictions champ.
Huge.
And then, of course, I beat vacant for this beautiful quiz championship. It's awesome.
It's a big start to the week for you. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I believe you are defending it. What's going to end up probably being a couple times this week. So we'll kind of see how that shakes out on the channel. A bunch of stuff going up on the channel. But folks, thanks for the love on the last video. The vacant video is going really crazy. That's nice to see. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. I guess before we get into things, I do want to plug the Patreon, patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. Get to hear us chat for a whole other hour. Non-wrestling stuff, some wrestling stuff. It's a Q&A. We're going to talk about, I had a crazy week. I went to 2 Red Sox games and then a Turnstile show.
Oh, wow.
Crazy week. Very kind of an unproductive week, to be honest, but I made it all work. So we're going to chat about all that over on the Patreon and just give everything a follow and a subscribe and whatnot. But with that said, before we dive into the shows, one big piece of news, I'd say confusing piece of news, during Raw, John Cena sent out a little tweet, hashtag Cena versus Styles or whatever it was, on Raw or hashtag Monday Night Raw, which led a lot to people speculating are we getting AJ Styles versus Cena tonight?
I wonder why.
Yeah, right. The hashtag Raw felt a little unnecessary.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That kind of made people think differently. To me, I don't know how that came across to you. To me, that was instantly Cena realizes how poorly received. We'll talk about how we feel about it, but how poorly received his match at WrestlePalooza was with Brock, and maybe that was hey, you know what? This wasn't planned. I should probably give back to the fans and give them something good. They want AJ Styles. I'm going to give them AJ Styles, similar to how he attempted to hit the RKO because the crowd wanted the RKO. That's how it read to me, as hey, sorry about that. here's me making up for it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think he's probably well aware that this whole retirement run is not going, into many people's opinions, the best. He also recently pissed in all of the city of Boston's Cheerios by not retiring in Boston. And then, of course, a lot of negative reception towards the one-on-one opening match at WrestlePalooza, Cena versus Brock. A lot of people didn't like it. ESPN didn't like it. I'm not the only one saying it. But more on my opinions later on that. But yeah, I think Cena is definitely, in my viewing too, this is going to be happening. AJ Styles versus John Cena, that is, at Crown Jewel. I'm leaning towards that.
Sorry, say it again.
I think Cena versus AJ Styles at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, I'd I like that. I mean, we're gonna get a Brock rematch, right? Not that I want one, but like
I feel very strongly in saying that they really advertised that match, Brock for Cena at WrestlePalooza, as their final encounter in the last one. And then what made me even more furious at the ESPN rating of WrestlePalooza was them alluding to like, oh yeah, that match sucked, but it was definitely for a future rematch, which like, you don't know the storylines. You don't know what's going on. And honestly, I think you're wrong. I think that was it for Brock Cena.
It's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Like, we'll talk about it. But I do want to, if you're interested, not to put a pause on that, but I just opened up Twitter because I was gonna look at what the exact Cena tweet was.
Yeah.
The PWI top 500 just came out. I don't know.
Cody's number one.
I definitely. Did you already see it?
I seen that Cody's number one.
Okay.
Yep.
I definitely plan on. I made one last year. I plan on making a video on my own channel, going through like at least the top 25. But for the sake of it, it is kind of breaking news here. We can kind of go over it and also give a little shouts. I just looked up PWI 500, so some quick little shouts here is Simon Miller cracking the top 350.
Oh, they're sleeping on Simon. He has to get at least one of 250 up, in my opinion.
Effie, who is the GCW champion, knocking out a 42. I think that's great. Effie rocks. Who do we got? Bear Bronson, 430. That's slept on.
I actually recently watched, I think it was from his own account, like a little compilation video of him recently.
Bear Bronson?
His recent work. Very bloody,
Dude, he rocks,
very deathmatchy. Yeah, his whole gimmick rocks indeed.
So we can just go to, like I said, I'm probably going to go through some more stuff on my own channel. But the top 10, not that it's going to be a secret, 10, Will Ospreay, 9, Mystico, 8, Seth Rollins, 7, Swerve Strickland, 6, Jey Uso, 5, I'm going to butcher this name, Hiroki Goto.
I think he nailed that.
New Japan person. 4, Hangman Adam Page, 3, Gunther, 2, John Moxley, 1, Cody Rhodes.
Everyone has an opinion. I think it's great. I think we live in a place where people can have these opinions. My list looks a lot different, and that's fine.
Even in kayfabe, because the PWI is all kayfabe.
It's all kayfabe. Okay, so then in kayfabe, I don't know. I mean, Gunther beating down a bunch of old people. Like, he also lost to Jey Uso at WrestleMania. So I mean, again, world champion. That's
the thing. Is like the top 2, 3, 4 are gonna be world champions because it's kayfabe.
Yeah.
I guess Cody at 1 makes sense. I do kind of agree with you though. Seeing Gunther that high.
Yeah.
Granted, again, he was like, I think, what is it? It's April. Is it Mania to Mania? I forget what the PWI like 365 is, but it's something like in the middle of whatever. Mystico, I think, is solid at 9. Ospreay, I don't think has had as good of a year as the year before. Love seeing Swerve on there. Jey Uso, people are gonna hate it, but kayfabe wise, it makes sense. Like, he won the Royal Rumble, he became a world champion. To me, I understand it.
I mean, unless they're doing a bit, I feel like they're missing glaring omission. They won John Cena. They could be doing a bit where you don't see him. I'm curious to what number John Cena is, but like, he's gotta be the heel champ and won a lot of matches for a long time. Plus the promos, like,
he's gotta be top 15. Like I said, we'll just kind of stop it. I'm just, like I said, kind of googled it quick, but like, it's a great point. I don't know. I'll see if I saw it real quick, but I don't know. Cool cover. But all right, that's that. I'm gonna click on people being mad at Jey Uso. He yeeted his way to the top 10. Congratulations. All right. Anyway. Kind of got off track there, but yeah, I like kind of touching on whatever's breaking news or whatever.
Yeah.
To round that out, we'll jump to WrestlePalooza right now. Again, I mean, that's all we can really say to go back to like Cena Styles is like, I hope Cena's not just teasing us. I don't know why he tweeted during Raw, but yeah, I think, like you said, I think Crown Jewel is probably the spot for it. Perth is going to go crazy for it.
Is that kind of a dirty promotional tactic for Cena to do that? John Cena, one of the most like recognized, followed Twitter accounts to be like, John Cena versus AJ Styles, Monday Night Raw, hashtag Monday Night Raw. Wouldn't a lot of people maybe that possibly weren't watching Raw then tune into Raw? Like that seems like kind of a dirty promotional tactic from Big Match John a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if it was either just like him wanting to be like, oh, I'm tweeting it during Raw and I'm a wrestling fan. Or if it like it doesn't
so random.
It didn't super read like it was. I mean, it did and it didn't. Like the way the tweet reads, just looking at it, is like, oh, this is like he's pushing it for this episode of Raw. But then like critical thinking goes like, there's no way we're getting this style. You know what I mean? But it's like,
and John wasn't advertised for the show,
right?
So it's like, yeah, very very strange.
Very strange.
Fingers crossed for Crown Jewel.
Well, speaking of Cena, we'll finally jump to WrestlePalooza here, and let me get my time here. We have Brock Lesnar defeating, some would say squashing, a John Cena. We already kind of discussed a little bit if there's potential for a rematch. I do want to talk more about that. But overall, how'd you feel about the match? How'd you feel about everything? People are not liking it.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't blame them. You look at the criticism first. Like, you know, any person that doesn't like this match because of Brock the person, I understand, and that's a whole nother discussion. But the match itself, I mean, it was kind of a love letter to, or just kind of an reference to their 2014 match at SummerSlam where Brock squashed him. You know, being upset that John Cena only has so many dates left, and you're using it doing this. It is tough, but for me, like it really, what it came down to was really interesting for me too, was, you know, hashtag fake news Jimmy. I do owe you an apology. I was like, oh no, this is main eventing because I saw something on Twitter, and if you see on Twitter, it's fact. But then I think the day of the show, it's announced that, oh, Brock versus John Cena will open WrestlePalooza, which, like, I think that could make sense.
They're trying to get that crowd from All Out is what they're trying to do.
The 5 people that will then, you know, turn off the AEW pay-per-view that they paid, you know, $50 for, then turn to WrestlePalooza. Oh, I got to see John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Screw this main event between one of the 2 youngest, best pro wrestlers in the world. I gotta make sure to start WrestlePalooza. But then that made me start. That really made me think in terms, of course, of our predictions and stuff, because how much it means to us or whatever. And like that definitely bodes well for me, because I can definitely see why I picked Brock. Was, again, I kind of thought this would happen. Kind of an ode to SummerSlam 2014, Brock squash. And to me, again, I understand why people don't like this, but for me, anytime you can open a show with a pretty shocking moment, Brock looks like he just ate Brock Lesnar, and you have genuine emotion to start the show off. You have children, you have tens, maybe close to 100 children crying.
Yeah, he came out with all the Make-A-Wish kids again, and everyone's wearing the yellow, and everyone's all happy. Tyrese Halliburton was always crying.
He was crying too, I bet. So anytime you can start off a show with a genuine emotion reaction like that, and again, it wasn't nearly as shocking as 2014.
Right.
I'd even argue, and I'd be curious for what your thoughts about this. Like, if it was the role reversals, what if Cena squashed Brock? And I think you would have accomplished the same emotional reaction, plus probably more of a positive outlook on it. Because again, Brock Lesnar, first match back in like 2.5 years. John Cena, nearly 50 years old. This wasn't going to be a marvelous 5-star Meltzer match, but I think it was the right move to then move it to the opener and and make it more of a shocking angle. And then the thing is too, it's like this was definitely built up to be the last encounter, and this definitely, the result definitely kind of makes you think and kind of feel like, oh, Cena has to then get one back up on him.
Right.
But I don't think that's the case. And I do support, like, okay, John has 5 dates left. Brock probably, I mean, he could have like, 10 years left, but like, again, probably 5 matches in those 10 years. But he'll still be here is my point. So he has more to gain from a big shocking win over John Cena in terms of like, I'll still be here. But yeah.
How much more over does this guy Brock need? He beats the streak. He squashes John Cena twice. How much more does this guy need?
Yeah.
No, so I think I even made, as someone who I did have John Cena to win this match, I think I made note of it last episode where how realistic is it for John Cena to beat Brock Lesnar, especially with the build I think was very poor. I don't think they built this match up at all. They did have on SmackDown, which we're not going to talk too much about because there's so much other stuff to cover. But on SmackDown, they did have Brock Lesnar come out and threaten Michael Cole and then hit Corey Graves with 1 or 2 F5s, whatever it is, which Corey Graves took a bump. Shout out Corey.
Hell yeah.
Hope that means good things for if he wants to return to the ring. I don't know. So like they
tough bump though. Like
yeah,
it hurt.
they did a good job of selling Brock Lesnar as Brock Lesnar, who he is. Like I said, I even made the note of how realistic is it? Granted, they're like similar age, but if you just compare the two, and also like in kayfabe wise, John Cena's whole retirement tour has kind of been built on, especially the heel turn, has been built on I'm not John Cena of old, blah, blah. Meanwhile, we're seeing Brock Lesnar destroy people still. So like it wasn't an even fight going into it. And I was almost not critical, but wary of like, how realistic would it be for John Cena to beat Brock Lesnar? I did not expect, however, this level of just F5 spam and carnage. I don't disagree with a lot of what you said because I do think like with that thinking on my end, like it makes sense for Brock to win and then what? If you're gonna keep Brock around, then like what does a loss to John Cena do? Blah blah. I think I'm in that camp that you mentioned of just like, why do this to the degree they did it for John Cena's retirement tour? What do we have, 4 or 5 dates left, if that? Even if Cena lost, like it doesn't, and people were comparing like, oh, you also like you're just coming off this like this Iron Man level of a match at SummerSlam between Cody and Cena, where they went to war. And Cody, correct me if I'm wrong, beat Brock Lesnar in their last encounter.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I get like, it's kind of a fallacy. It's like, if you beat this person, that means you can beat this person. Like, that's not how things work. But it is just kind of like confusing how we've been having these great matches with Cena once he turned back face. And his whole he had the great match with Sammy, and it's kind of we've been kind of getting these like, all right, now we're getting Cena wrestling, and then we get back to this like 5-minute, 6-minute squash match, whatever. And I think I'm just curious, like if this was for 2014, it made sense, right? Because you have Brock's coming back, he went on a run.
I think he just ended the streak.
Probably, yeah, I think so, right? So, but what are we doing? What does that mean for 2025? Is Brock staying around? Is Brock going after a world title? I don't know. My first inclination after seeing this was, we're gonna lead to a rematch. Cena's gonna try to get back up there, finally beat Brock. That's how it like laid out match wise to me. Now talking about it, I don't know how likely that is, and 2, I don't know how much I want that, considering we only have, if we're lucky, we have 4 more John Cena matches left, right? Something like that. Do we want to do and no one already wanted the first Brock match, which now granted, like story wise, we would like, or a lot of people would like a rematch, but do we want another Brock match to fill out one of those dates? So maybe this just happens and we just go, all right, and then I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at in a long-winded
brother.
way.
I enjoyed this. I poop my pants at the aspect of this, them then revisiting this and having this be John Cena's retirement match. No chance do I want that at all. I mean, again.
Oh, you don't? Okay, I thought you were saying
no.
Okay.
I like the prospect of WrestlePalooza. The build was shit. There was a lack thereof build. It was never explained why Brock even attacked John Cena.
Right.
But then, the prospect of, again, a lot of people are like, oh, so Cena's going to do a rematch. And then some people point to like, oh, would it make sense for Cena to have a kind of climb the ladder type moment, get back to the Super Cena, and then face Brock again, get his win, get there. But like, no, I don't want that. Have Brock just kind of coast off this momentum for whatever he does in the future. He's back with Paul Heyman, apparently.
Well, that's the thing, right? Backstage later in the night, he saw Paul Heyman, and he was like, we need to talk. Which, like, what does that mean?
He did the intro for him, too.
He did do the intro. He did do the intro. Wait,
ladies
so did he
and
say...
gentlemen...
Oh, no, I'm sorry. On SmackDown, he saw him and said, we need to talk.
Yep.
Okay, you're right. On SmackDown, he said, we need to talk, and then he did the intro for him. I don't think we've gotten more after that in terms of interaction, but kind of leads you to think, does that mean... A, is Brock Lesnar joining the Vision? Or B, is Brock Lesnar going to maybe take Paul Heyman, lure Paul Heyman out of the Vision? I just don't know. Like where do we go? What's gonna happen with Brock after this? These are questions no one has the answer to, but it's like in 2025, a lot of people don't want him there in general. He's just kind of doing, if we're doing the same old shtick of big squash matches and no one can beat Brock. I don't know. I just don't know where he fits in the landscape today. And I
mean, you know what it is, dude. He's a big name, and of course it's the first pay-per-view on ESPN, and I think what their mindset was like, oh, let's have the first match be like the most closest thing we can do for real sports. And there's no one else more real in the business than Brock Lesnar, because he is the last real ass kicker. And you watch that match against Cena. Like, Cena actually has like nasty welts and cuts on him. His ass kicked. And he legit got his ass kicked. So I think he's just that part-timing, big name, throw it on the pay-per-view. And of course, this could be beneficial because, again, he is such a massive heel. And that's kind of what their mindset is, again, with Cena, since he's turned face, is put him against real-life heels, Logan Paul at Clash, and now here against Brock. I think there definitely is levels for Brock, or a potential for Brock to then put over the younger generations. Braun Breaker versus Brock Lesnar is a WrestleMania match.
That's what you hope, right? Like, yeah, so I agree.
It definitely, I see the side of like the criticism of it. I think it's definitely warranted, but like for me, for just like to put on a show and see like the start of a show and the reaction of the crowd, the one kid that is getting the most buzz out from crying in the crowd, I swear to you, I seen him in a Geico commercial. So I actually have a whole conspiracy. I feel like Charlie Kelly.
He's a plant.
I think he's a plant. I think. A bunch of kids did come out with John Cena for the entrance, so like whatever. But I think I recognized that kid from a Geico commercial. But yeah, it is what it is. I definitely hope they don't revisit this and just kind of Well, it was what it was, and what a way to start off ESPN, WWE on ESPN, huh?
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But I don't know. It's we could keep at this point. Now I think, at least on my end, now I'm in the part of the discussion where it's like, I don't know what else to say about it, because I don't know. I need to see what happens with John after. We have no idea what John's next plans are, besides teasing Styles. We have no idea what's going to happen with Brock next. So at this point now, I'm just kind of at like we'll wait and see. We'll just see what else they give us with both of the guys, and that's
what do you think about this, man? I see a lot of criticism and blame being casted on our friend, our pal, our amigo Triple H. Should John Cena get any of this blame? Because it feels like he gets the benefit of the doubt of like, oh, they line up and I show up. Like, I feel like John Cena, you have enough pull to then step on people and be like, no, I want it like this. So like, maybe this AJ Styles thing is the start of that, hopefully. But like, I'm sure he sees this perception and like, I don't know. I like to see some responsibility towards John Cena. Bit.
I think it's a little. I think it's more. I don't know about 50-50. Yeah, but I don't think it's as 100% and zero as it is, because like I don't disagree with that, or I'm not too skeptical that like Cena's always been like a company man. Cena's always been like, whatever they say, I'll do it. Like, I fully believe that. I would highly doubt if Cena hasn't at least been like, hey, here are guys that I would like. You know what I mean? So I don't super buy that it's like, it's all Triple H's plan or it's all John Cena's request. Like, I think it's a little bit of a mix. I don't know what like percentage it is, whatever, but like, especially if you go out and say, I only, what do you say? They line them up and I knock them down. Yeah. But then you go out of your way to do the Styles tweet. And it's like, granted, is it all kayfabe? Like, is Styles lined up anyway? Or like I like to think, is it maybe oops, we kind of fucked up with the Brock match. Let's get Styles. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Cena's he's such a, I love him to death, but like, he's such a weird guy. He's so weird.
He's so weird. Conspiracy hat on too. How about this? I saw this. It's definitely not true, but I love it. Triple H is purposely booking John Cena's retirement tour bad
because he hates.
To get Cena back for WrestleMania 43.
It's good because he'll be like, oh, my year sucked. Let's do another year and do it right.
Yeah. Hey,
that's crazy.
Not a bad idea.
I will move on to the Brons. defeating the Usos. We both got this one right. Fine match. Jey Uso, in a scary moment, ended up cracking his own head with the chair.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Which I had to I rewatched 3 times. I was like, where did he crack his head? And then gushing blood. And shout out your guy, LA Knight, seemed to make a little call on the fly. I don't know. I'd assume he had an earpiece and still able to, as a special guest referee, kind of fix stuff. I think I saw something on Twitter where it pointed out that he saw Jay kind of stumbling, barely able to get up, and kind of called for the finish. Told, hey, spear, we're knocking this out. Which I feel like that was gonna be the finish anyway, but I feel like they kind of sped up to it. LA Knight, a special guest referee, I thought was very, very solid, very fun. And then Jimmy Uso hitting a pretty gnarly swanton. Where the fuck did that come from? So yeah, this was, I think the right person or the right duo won here. It added to the Usos story. We also saw a lot of fallout on Raw. It looks like kind of Jey Uso is slowly starting to step into this tribal chief Roman Reigns role. He's getting more aggressive. He has a new attitude, which I really, really like. He has way more of a chip on his shoulder, in an almost a more aggressive way. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
I think we needed to start discussing that LA Knight might be the greatest guest referee of all time. I'd love to do a kind of research on the history of guest refereeing. I think of Shawn Michaels with the small shorts.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
I think of Bianca Belair more recently. But LA Knight might be up there. This was a pretty fun match. I think other people are kind of more critical of it. I enjoyed it. This is some good tag team action. Braun Breaker, my favorite wrestler in the world. Again, the takeaway though is that nasty kind of chair box thing. I'm with you. I don't see where it happened, and to see Jay how scared he was after it was kind of really creepy.
And what sucks is and not that I don't know if it almost seems as now I'm the biggest Jey Uso defender in the world. I feel like we're always on here defending him. I'm not even I'm not the biggest Jey Uso fan, but now people are the guy can't even do a proper chair shot with that. It's all right, I don't know. People are just going to find everything to be critical about, you know what I mean? The guy, shit happens. Shit happens,
You say shit happens, and it's never been over for LA Knight fan club #1 guy here. The next following night on Raw, they do one-on-one. Jay's injured and then takes a loss to LA Knight. Takes a win against LA Knight. He's literally concussed. Can't even see straight, and he beats LA Knight 1, 2, 3. There was, shenanigans, but damn. But I'm actually really fascinated by Jay's potential character for a heel turn.
I love it, dude.
I am scared they're going to have LA Knight really turn, and given it's been kind of it's more of both of them are kind of tweeners at this point anyway, almost towards to how their attitudes are changing. I would hate for them to then go the route of LA Knight being the more definitive heel and and stopping with the yas and stuff like that, because whoever turns heel has to stop doing the chant. You know what I mean? So, but I really like this potential for this rivalry for it to continue. And again, I hate to point this out, but I feel like the promo I saw on SmackDown where Solo Sikoa is kind of trying to talk to his family tree, and they had Tall Tonga behind him, and he's kind of giving words of encouragement. I think this is gonna be leading up to Jay leading my family tree.
See, I don't know. I hope not. Yeah. I hope to God not. Well, also though, there's no more My Family Tree. My Family Tree is done.
What do you mean?
They disbanded on SmackDown. It's only Solo and fucking.
Did you see the promo though of Solo talking to? I think it was Tall behind him, and he was apologizing. I think he's slowly trying to get them back together.
When did that happen?
I think on SmackDown. It was just on
SmackDown, Tama Tonga was behind him, or sorry, Tonga Loa was behind him.
It was Tonga Loa. Yeah, I'm sorry, my apologies.
And he was
given those names are just so.
But he was
he's apologizing, right?
I think he was more so he was. Yeah, he was. I guess I have to watch back the promo, but he was like. You're the only one. You're the only one I have left, and then it cuts out to Tonga Loa standing there.
I think next week you'll see another person be behind him, and they're gonna slowly kind of get back together.
Maybe,
and then maybe because I think like you're saying, if Jay's really gonna try to be the tribal chief, he has to have a tribe to lead, and I think those guys are floundering. Solo lost the United States Championship. What are they doing? They need a leader.
I just don't want them to pull Jay down. And granted, maybe the other side of the coin is Jay can lift them up. But
what a test for Jay to be a heel for the first time in a long time, a solo character, and then a leader of a faction. I'd be curious to see how it goes. I think the whole no yeet thing could be like even more over than yeet.
I would at least want to see and get through. Well, first of all, we gotta do a super kick match between Jimmy and Jay, of course.
Yes.
And then, like, I would want it to me, this seems like it's leading to the other side of the bloodline, the OG bloodline. And, like, Jimmy, you know, he's kind of starting to, like, puff out his chest at Jimmy a little bit, and Jimmy's pushing back a little bit, but ultimately he's kind of just like, all right, man. I think eventually we'll get Sammy looped back in. Obviously, when Roman comes back, I think we're going to have, like, Roman try and be, like, similar to early bloodline promos. We know Jay always kind of had this, like, defiant stepping up role, and then Roman always kind of being like, you trying to beat me? Sort of thing. I think we're going to kind of get back to that.
I think Roman might be like, hey, chill, man. Like, try to.
I think so too.
He's kind of a gooder guy now on the lighter side of things.
So too.
Like, yo, I see this behavior. I went through the same thing. Like, chill.
Absolutely.
And then Jay might go on even a bigger ego trip after that. And a Jay Roman match where Jay's heel could be pretty good.
And I'd like, Jay just coming out with more aggression even during his like entrance, being a little just more like, ugh. It's like, he's sick. He's sick of it. He's sick of everything. All right, we can move on to the Women's World Title match, what I think was the match of WrestlePalooza. We have Stephanie VAQUER defeating Io Sky to win the vacant Women's World Title. Fantastic. This was great. Really, really fun match. These two have fantastic chemistry together. Two of the best in the world going at it. Stephanie VAQUER on top of the world. I am glad that they... saw that spark and fucking capitalized on it. Some notes I have here is that Stephanie's dragon screws, especially with Io's selling, look fucking brutal. The Spanish.
So is that the finish? Because there's a big There's a big thing of contention right now of like, was that a spiral tap? Was that not a spiral tap? I forget which wrestler came out and said that's not a spiral tap. But there's a whole discussion of like, was that a corkscrew moonsault? Was that a spiral tap? What happens when we die? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Is it like a, well, she rotated right and not left, or she it's like a small, like, I kind of saw a little bit. I have a spiral tap question mark.
Yeah. Do you? That's awesome.
Spanish Fly off the top was electric. Io, which I loved this. Io exposing her knees, which like she's never done that before, which tells me that like, oh shit, she's like, Stephanie is the real deal. I need to pull out all the stops for Stephanie. I never had to do this before. Ended up kind of being her downfall, especially with the final over the top moonsault, obviously landing with her knees taking all the impact. Then Stephanie hitting what some are going to call a spiral tap, I guess, or not. I'm going to call it a spiral tap, which looked fucking beautiful. 1, 2, 3. Stephanie VAQUER, your new Women's World Champion. So deserved. Jimmy, how are we feeling?
Better pizza, better ingredients, Papa John's. What a beautiful moment that was, and then ruined by pizza. Not many things in life are ruined by pizza.
Well, by Papa John's a lot, specifically.
True.
No, I saw that too, just like, and I agree. And sometimes I feel a little self-conscious. I come on here a lot complaining about, and I do it on my own videos too. Like, I'm always complaining about the ads. I am very, very, like, aesthetic and style and look first. I know it's not a big deal to a lot of people. It's a big deal to me. And it's, I always go back to like, imagine, we'll take the most famous moment in wrestling history, right? Hogan slamming Andre. Imagine if there was a fucking Durex logo like right under Hogan's feet. Or, imagine if he was slamming him onto a Fortnite logo. It's just, we can't have cool history to look back on if we don't do cool things now.
That ruined that moment for me, which is like so speaks to what you just said about the advertisements and how it like that generally it made me laugh instead of being like whatever. I made a meme
because you're so right that and it's something I didn't touch on, but you're like them both on their knees, just like, and it's very like maybe Joshi or New Japan style of just like they were kind of bowing to each other and shaking hands and just like it was so just like. We went through war. I respect you as a competitor, and like continuously they were bowing to each other and giving each other credit. But to do all that on top of a Papa John's logo with a Walmart logo in the background on the turnbuckle is just like, come on.
And if you could ignore that, good for you. But for me, like it definitely made me laugh instead of what I should have done, which is cry. But
yeah,
dude, Stephanie, I'm hoping for a generational run for Stephanie VAQUER.
I'm excited.
This was a phenomenal match. It saved the show, absolutely. Like ESPN gave the show a C. I personally would give it like a C plus. I even lean towards like a B minus.
Oh wow, okay.
I did like enjoy the show, and again, context is key. Like, I'm not gonna completely expose myself. I don't think you want me saying this, but like how I watched the show, found a stream and I got it, and whatever.
Found a legal stream. Stream.
Yep. But like, context is key. If I did, pay for $39.99 or $29.99 a month for ESPN Unlimited.
Yeah, $30 or whatever.
If I paid $30 for that show, then I guess it would be different for me.
For those that might not have or had paid differently or had some sort of VPN situation, I could see why they would be a little bit more
wanting more.
Sure, or find that I didn't spend $30 or whatever. Which God, we didn't talk about on camera, like how silly of just on SmackDown, no, listen, it's easy. You gotta download the app, and then you gotta do this, and then you gotta do this, and then bada bing, you got it. If you have cable though, you're fucked. But yeah, no, this I as someone who even had EO to pick, because which granted we can transition right into talking about not that I'm done talking about Steph, we can transition right into EO talk. But I kind of expected maybe EO to win this, and that would be a plot point in the Asuka stuff. Turns out, don't need it, didn't need it. We'll talk about it in a second. But and like you said, Stephanie, I am hoping just give her everyone. We got a little backstage segment where Asuka was kind of involved. Obviously, Rhea Ripley. I think people were really expecting the "This Is My Brutality" song to hit during Stephanie's promo on Raw, which didn't happen.
I was so pleasantly surprised that no wrestler interrupted that segment.
And she teed it up. She was one of her last lines were and there's no one that's gonna be able to be. That was the tee up, and it didn't happen.
And then her banger of a theme song plays, and the segment ends. And I did kind of think to myself, given that the four women that you mentioned earlier, Io, Asuka, Kairi, and Rhea, the best thing going in wrestling right now, this storyline.
100%.
So they're all preoccupied, and I'm kind of looking at the Raw women's division. Who is there really for Stephanie to face right now? Because I feel like Bayley's kind of... we are blessed right now in women's wrestling. There is no shortage of
women's
competitors.
Wrestling is carrying.
It's
WWE.
crazy.
Yeah, it rocks.
But also Bayley's preoccupied with the Lyra and Judgment Day storyline. So who is there for Stephanie to conquer?
I'll tell you who it is. It's the first person to congratulate Stephanie coming back from her promo. Nikki Bella, baby. Nikki freaking Bella.
You got to turn her heel. You got to turn her heel and make her Nikki start saying Stephanie's name wrong again and really start
say VAQUER.
Oh yeah, whatever. Honestly, when I first got introduced to Stephanie, I also struggled with it too, and I think Pat McAfee did too. It's fine, but maybe dive into that realism, and then of course Nikki. I don't want to be too negative or whatever, but I'm over it a bit. I mean, we got AJ now. We're good, Nikki. I mean, you got your moment, you lingerer, but that is a big name, but I really think at this point Nikki should turn heel, especially if you're going against the one of the most over baby faces.
I don't see that actually being
really?
No, I don't see that. No, it was literally just she was involved in that backstage segment.
Yeah. I think that might be it though, because really, there's no one else that's not preoccupied to face her right now.
I just love that she is but
although Crown Jewel's coming up, they're doing a champion versus champion thing.
Yeah, so she's gonna face whether it's Stephanie, Jade, or Nia.
She's facing Jade Cargill.
I don't know. We'll talk about. I definitely want to talk about Crown Jewel nonsense, but But to let's see, where are we going? Oh, I was gonna say, I'd like that in kayfabe, Nikki Bella is the wrestling aunt to these fucking legend, Io, Stephanie VAQUER. She's I don't know, it's funny to me. But anyway, I think we're getting, obviously not at Crown Jewel, but I think we're probably getting Rhea. I mean, Rhea is preoccupied with this Asuka stuff. I don't know. I guess now we're talking it out. Nikki's not doing anything. I don't know who we're getting. But
it kind of goes to why I hate that there's two world champions, because I feel like there's I think Tiffany too on the other side of things on SmackDown. Like I feel like she's faced Nia Jax a million times.
She's had a pretty lackluster run.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
so it's like I don't know. The 2 world champion thing really bothers me, but at the same time, like there is no shortage of like great women's wrestlers on the roster right now. So like I don't know, but yeah, Stephanie for Nikki could be a thing. But overall though, Io, Kairi, Asuka, Rhea, this is like the best storyline in wrestling right now. That main event last night was crazy.
So good. Yeah, even just like the match in general, like Asuka and Rhea have so much chemistry. I saw a note on stream that I really liked where just a note of how much Rhea has like developed over the years in terms of like an overall wrestler. Like when she first started, whether it was NXT or even like early Judgment Day stuff, she was really built up as just like a giant and like I am tall and muscular and I'm like I wrestle as a giant and I'm doing big slams. Now, like she is just the complete package. She does like she does not necessarily, she does not too much aerial stuff, but like agile stuff.
The timing of that drop kick when Asuka came down,
beautiful.
Nuts.
Like she's such an overall total package of a wrestler. But yeah, so match was great. We ended up for the end of the match, I think Rhea ended up getting the W, but then Asuka, boom, green mist. Even earlier in the match, she ordered Kairi to attack Rhea. Kairi didn't do it. Sweet Kairi, who I think might be the funniest person on earth. There was another backstage segment too before the match was really funny, pulling at Io's heartstrings, and then they are beating down Rhea, the green mist, and then Kairi finally just gives in to Asuka, just like starts punching her, and then Io Sky comes out for the save. Io's like, what the fuck? We're all right. Come on. We're all friends. Stop it. And then, props to Asuka. Hug. I'm sorry. Hug. We're good. Second hug. We're good. Boom. Spinning back fist. See ya.
Eat your heart out, Eddie Kingston.
The trigger. They pulled the trigger. They did it. They finally did it. And it was mwah. Kairi Sane so reluctant to continue attacking, to even hitting the insane elbow, which to me was also a very funny moment because Kairi's like almost in tears about to hit the elbow and still hits like the pirate salute.
She is a riot.
Hits the elbow. So we're here. We are fully here. We are fully in the mix of. They finally turned on Io. WWE Japan cross-posted with Io Sky of Io talking in Japanese, or crying in Japanese, I should say, backstage, covered in mist. And she was just like, they had like the subtitles, and she was just like, I'm so sad. I'm devastated. I thought I trusted them. Like, I knew them. They were my family. And just like, really just like, adding on to the distraught of it, which was really, really good.
Io's a good actress.
She's so good. I mean, like everyone involved, like Kairi's facial expressions during all this has been just like money.
And Io's too. I think it was the end of the segment where like the segment ended and like the camera kind of zoomed in Io and Io's face was just like,
yeah, just like very, very sad and just like stressed. And then so I think it's really gonna play to. Kairi is basically fucking brainwashed and under control of Asuka. We're eventually gonna get, the pop when Kairi like refuses orders or whatever from Asuka is gonna be electric.
Oh yeah.
My guess is, I don't know about on Raw, but eventually I think we're not this is the big blow off, but I think we're getting. Io tagging with Rhea to face Kabuki Warriors, and then whether that happens on Raw next week or at Crown Jewel, I don't know. But man, I am fired up. It's so good. They did this perfectly. I don't know. What do you thoughts?
I am freaking hooked. This is phenomenal. I had never seen that much mist before.
A lot of mist.
Rhea looked like Paul Giamatti in Big Fat Lie. We're the Public Enemy. They tweeted out this morning, made me crack up, and like she had that shit in her teeth too.
Yeah, a lot of mist.
What a ending to Monday Night Raw. One of the best endings to Monday Night Raw in a long time.
I agree.
I mean, it wasn't featuring the Vision. Maybe that could be probably the dynamic there. But I cannot wait to see where this goes. I think they do the tag match at maybe Crown Jewel, and then ultimately, and before I say this,
Say it.
shout out Corey Graves saying this was a WrestleMania main event on Monday Night Raw last night. Rhea versus
good.
Rhea versus Asuka. Like, yes, that is a WrestleMania main event.
And it was a WrestleMania rematch, yeah?
I don't think
From 30 something?
Am I forgetting?
36. I'll look it up. Keep going. I mean derail you.
No, it's fine. Where was it? Where was I going with that?
Sorry, I threw you off.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
WrestleMania-esque match. Shout out Corey Graves. Great match. In-ring fighting. Oh, man, I really got you.
No, it's fine. It's so fine. I didn't need to
WrestleMania 37. Asuka versus Rhea for the title.
Rhea win?
Great question.
I don't remember. Yeah, WrestleMania 37
Rhea
is a
wins.
tough one.
Rhea wins with it. Yeah, that COVID, that pandemic.
It might. I think 36 was.
36 was pandemic. Either way, yeah, same.
And then of course now the night 1, night 2 WrestleManias are always a bit fuzzy.
Right.
But yeah, man, this was. I'm so excited to see where this goes. But I'm sorry. I remember now where I was going. This has to, and this is going to be leading up to a maybe match of the year contender of Io Sky versus Asuka 1-on-1, and give those ladies 35, 40 minutes, have them go crazy.
I don't know how we get like Kyrie also into the match, but like if we could get the triple threat, sign me up.
You just pointed out, the moment where Kyrie Sane defies the leadership of Asuka, and if that's in that match, that'll make that match even more memorable and greater. So
I just watched on my Patreon, an old Asuka match when she went by Kana in Japan, and I forget who she was facing, but just like how much more brutal I mean, that's like the whole style of Joshi, I guess, but like just how much more brutal Asuka was, and she was just like a totally different beast there. And like, point being, the reason I bring that up is like, if they do this match, just lean into those, just let those three have like their strong style of a match, and just like I can't wait. I'm excited. When do you think it happens?
Io first,
whatever
Asuka.
Whether it's a triple threat or Io Asuka, whatever like the big blow off is.
I think maybe at Survivor Series. Yeah, I think that's where they're heading with this for sure. And then of course the whole overlying factor, which like don't forget, Rhea Ripley has never beaten Io Sky, and there's still that competitive rivalry there.
Right.
Will that eventually turn into a personal rivalry? And then to the ending of Monday Night Raw, where Rhea has like that pain on her face, yelling out for Io. It's like, tell you
unreal.
What. And then like the backstage segment too, where like the camera starts off with like Rhea doing some kind of like arm exercise, like. Whoa, she's awesome.
Fucking ripped. All right, we'll move on to... God, we have so much wrestling to talk about. I'll move on to the main event. We have CM Punk and AJ Lee defeating Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I found this match.
That wasn't the main event,
a lot of fun.
It should have main evented. And that's
you're right. Sorry, I don't know why I said that.
And that's another thing,
God,
too.
we have a lot of wrestling to cover.
I know, it's crazy. But that's another thing, too, where like I think the perception of WrestlePalooza would have been a lot better if certain matches were elsewhere. I think they hit the nail on the head putting Brock Cena first, especially how they did it opener. But if AJ and Punk in this match main evented, I think it would have left a better taste in people's mouths, and it probably would have been a B- from ESPN.
Yeah.
since that's the end-all, be-all, apparently. But like, I think that would have been better.
In hindsight, I think that should have main evented. Like as much of a stickler, I think sometimes we're on the same page. Yes. Like, a world championship should conclude your show. Like, the hindsight kind of comes into play here. But a lot of stuff happened here. My favorite part is how they broke away from, a lot of times when WWE does a mixed gender match, they really have like the men don't touch the men don't touch the women and vice versa. But like the amount of mixed gender action we got was like so good. Becky and Punk putting each other in a sharpshooter. I think everyone hit a stomp in this match. I'm pretty sure everyone, or at least like a bunch of people hit a pedigree. Both couples doing like, Becky and Seth doing dual pedigrees. Punk and AJ doing dual, what'd they do? They did a cool sliced bread number 2, and then like they went into like a bulldog and shit. Just really, really cool. I think AJ put Seth Rollins in a Black Widow. AJ put Becky in a Black Widow, which people have been giving Becky shit for the past 3 days about for some reason.
And they both sold it like death too, which is great.
But that's people's problems with like Becky's selling, is like people like she didn't lean over too much, and AJ had to put her foot in herself. It's like, Shut up. God, shut up. Oh my God. I know things, and I need people to make sure they know that I know things. Shut the fuck up. Everyone was unreal in this match. Becky was crazy to comment on Becky's quote unquote poor selling here. Becky sold her ass off in this match. I saw people saying, which I don't think this is meant in a negative way, but people were like, she's selling like Shawn versus Hogan at fucking SummerSlam. She made AJ Lee look fantastic. What else we got? A crazy spot where Becky threw AJ into Punk and Seth to break the announce table, which looked like super, super sketch. And then Punk ended up no-selling to go check on his wife. Okay. And then, yeah. Great match. Fun match.
Fun match. I really enjoyed this. Like you said, the amount of action we got intertwined with, both husbands and wives was so great, and it was so great seeing AJ Lee back in the ring after 10 years. I'm really looking forward to what's next, though. I want to see another one. I want to see a one-on-one match with Becky and AJ.
Agreed.
I would also like to see a new Intercontinental Champion. I'd like to see AJ win that. I think that'd be very special.
No, I think you nailed it, and I think like this was the perfect match to, I think, reintroduce AJ, because coming out of this match, I'm not fully sure, like, AJ's in good ring form, but I am curious, and it's kind of what you're getting at, I am curious to see that straight up one-on-one to really see how AJ Lee is. You know what I mean? I think she's going to deliver, and I do think this all needs to culminate with that title change. And I to be honest with you, I think we're eventually going to get both titles swapped. Both now, like, one couple's holding the two titles, and the other couple's holding the two titles. Like,
do you think CM Punk's the next World Heavyweight Champion? If you had to say right now, I think probably so.
I can't see who else.
I mean, Gunther's on the sidelines. He also, I don't think at this point really should win it back too soon.
Especially if the conversation is like Gunther might be one of, if not John Cena's last match.
Right. That's a tough one.
I would like Drew, but like Drew just, I don't know, is he on SmackDown? I don't know, fucking know. But yeah, I think especially with Seth, which is, it's gonna throw off quizzes forever. But with Punk, technically, like, Punk won the world title this year for half a second. You know what I mean? Like that's in the history books. He was the next champ. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But. Fun match. I don't have too much more to say about it other than like I thought it was a really well put together, like, couples doing couples things. It was really just a match of like who loves their wife more.
Yeah. I think it was fantastic. My takeaway though from last night is like, why was Bayley wearing the AJ husband's jacket? And like Bayley last the week prior was wearing the AJ Lee shirt. I know they're all friends, and maybe it's all like a fun like I love you on screen thing. But do you think this could be playing into Bayley's character, or like I joked around saying, quote tweeted, and it was like, oh, I hate when my girlfriend tries to upstage my wife type thing, and it's like, what's going on there? You think there's gonna be something there wrapped around? I mean, I think Bayley, AJ Lee are definitely gonna feud at some point.
Yeah.
Whether or not
crazy versus crazy.
Yeah, whether that involves Punk, I don't know. But like her wearing that jacket to me was very like, that's a little.
I don't know. I honestly didn't think much about it. Yeah. I guess thinking about it now is when she was wearing the jacket, she was like, hug her, Bayley, and she was like that's when she was like nice to Lyra and everyone was her best friend. But then you saw that turn in the match, and then she was like, don't touch me.
Yeah, well, we had so much to talk about last week. We didn't even mention Bayley returning last week. So, I'm so happy to see her.
Bayley's been doing great work. I think this was the match that like really showcased like the split personalities in action. She's killing. I am very, very curious to kind of see where this keeps going.
Do you think cut and dry, it's one half of her personality is the role model heel and the other half is the hugger Bayley, and they're kind of both fighting for control type thing?
I think it's almost like three, where I think it's almost more of like not a devil and angel, but I think it's like hugger, role model, and then in the middle it's just like regular Bayley. You know what I mean? That's how I'm taking it.
True.
All right, we'll go on to real quick a just super weird and hilarious Undertaker segment. Gong hits, Taker comes out, and then it seemed like they just kind of told him to go out there and ad-lib.
Yeah.
And he was like, we know each other. I don't know. Okay, I'll just go. So Undertaker, in very, very silly fashion, announced Stephanie McMahon as the first inductee into this year's Hall of Fame class, which I think is very well deserved. Like, that is all great. I have nothing negative to say about that. Just the way it was delivered was just so funny. Why didn't Triple H deliver it? How come Triple H wasn't the one to do this news? I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. I don't know.
Why this happened and why it's happening so early. It is early. Yeah. If you recall, last year it was kind of a rib on Triple H to let him know that he will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Like Stephanie surprised him.
That's what I kind of got from this for sure.
Because like Stephanie's reaction from Undertaker, like, because it was so weird. You get the American Badass, motorcycle, and then he kind of stops way too early because he didn't wrap around the ring.
Anyone sitting there? Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna take a squat here.
And he's just sitting there and talking like an average Joe, like it's a freaking podcast. And like I'm just like,
known each other for a long time, huh?
And like, shout out Stephanie, still looking gorgeous. Still, the diamonds are dancing. Like she looked great. And then Taker breaks this news, and she's like, she looks pissed. And I think they cut away because Stephanie might have swore or something. It was like, nah, like she definitely was like, come on. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it of like, oh, this is a surprise, and like you got and like it's revenge from last year. And
I also like to think that it was like if it wasn't a surprise, like she must have just been like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
She must have thought like maybe that commercial. I like to think it was a surprise because it did seem like a genuine reaction, and to me, like it did seem like it was like that like quote unquote like happy pissed. Like she was stop. No way. Like I don't know. I thought it was a nice moment, very, very silly, but
yeah.
Ultimately, the payoff of what it was I like to think that it was a fully surprised. Steph didn't see it coming, and that was I think it would have been a genuine reaction regardless, but yeah. It was cool.
And like why it's being done so early, because I think I've seen a lot of people like, why now? Like WrestleMania is like months away. It's because the sooner you do it, the more of a rib it is. It's like the more of a surprise it is.
Sure.
Yeah. She I think for sure, what are we in September? She was not expecting to be announced to be in the Hall of Fame.
For fucking April.
Yeah, exactly. And also while I'm here, put China in the Hall of Fame individually.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree. I think we can campaign for that.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's move on to the actual main event of the show. I still don't have too much to say about this. WWE Championship match. Cody Rhodes defeats Drew McIntyre. It was a fine match. Cody retained. It was another notch in his run. They both looked solid. The Cody Cutter stumble was like super weird.
I thought he shit his pants.
I don't know what happened. The ref stopped Drew McIntyre from kicking Cody into the announce table, which like isn't illegal. That was weird. I don't know. It's fine. It was like fine. It was probably even a good match, but it was just kind of just like, meh.
I thought it was okay, but it's killing me to see people so up in arms that we didn't get a Randy Orton appearance or interference. Because, God, last month it was, we never get a clean WWE Championship finish anymore.
Yeah.
And it's interference every time. So then we get the one at SummerSlam, great. And then now we get another one here, and we had a nice, classic wrestling match with no shenanigans, and people are up in arms that no surprises happen. And I get it. It wasn't the most greatest matches. And then I'm also seeing people come in for my QB1 and the PWI #1 wrestler in the world, Cody Rhodes. Oh, this second reign isn't hitting yet. Brother, it's his first title defense. He's been gone for 3 weeks for the first time in his WWE run in a long time. Oh, it's not hitting the same. Yeah, it shouldn't be hitting the same. He hasn't been here yet. And here's the thing, too, with Drew McIntyre. I like Drew McIntyre. Great troll on the internet. I think it's that is valuable. Believe it or not, it is. And also, too, shout out Oscar, also good at the internet. She kills it with the memes too. But Drew right now, while yes, he is made from stone, and he's pretty much the antithesis of like what a professional wrestler looks like, and he's great. I don't think for his character right now, him winning the world title as a heel makes any sense. I think for him, his path back to the world title is him realizing, hey, I am a piece of shit and I get in my own way because of pettiness, and I can't let my own emotions deter me from my goals, which that's been the case. I mean, when he won the world title, he got cocky, Punk, whatever, cash in, this and that. And I think for him to be the world champion again, he has to recapture the light of him being the MVP of the pandemic when he beat Brock at WrestleMania 36, and Drew should be a world beater and do it the good old way, if that makes any sense. So I think Drew winning here, while yes, that would have been a shocking result and it would have been, headline grabbing, I don't think this was the right move for Drew to win by any stretch of the imagination. Cody Rhodes, QB1, we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree that as I love myself a shock, I didn't expect Drew to win here too, which is why I'm kind of surprised people are so bummed about it, because I was like, I didn't see anywhere where Drew won. However, I feel like so are you saying that you do face this, do you 2025 face Drew better than heel Drew? Because I think heel Drew is some of his best work.
I love heel Drew, and I want him on my television all the time.
I think face Drew as champion is kind of boring.
Yeah,
it's kind of why I'd want heel Drew to be running shit. You know what I mean?
I can respect
IMO.
I can respect that, but also too, I kind of get into my old fashioned type of thing. Is if you're really loving the heel work, is he actually a heel type thing? So that's another aspect I look at it. If we are sitting here, we're all super behind Drew McIntyre.
I get what you're saying.
For how his character is now as a heel and kind of whatever. Is he actually a heel?
Right? Shouldn't we actually hate him?
Shouldn't we actually hate him?
That's the unfair conversation. Is smart fans nowadays.
Yeah, that's I kind of run into that issue a lot too. But
sure, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, but and that's a challenge with everything these days, and why I love Cody Rhodes retaining, because being a face world champion is the hardest job in wrestling. It's so easy to get a room of people to dislike you. It is.
Yeah,
but
we do it every week.
We do it every week with ease, with just getting questions wrong on a quiz. We do it. But to get a room full of people to cheer for you and love you is almost impossible, especially if you want unanimous, because that's never going to happen. But Cody Rhodes does such a phenomenal job as QB1. I think this wasn't the time, and I just go back to the pandemic and Drew's run, and I was such a fan of Drew at that point. And I will fight back on you a little bit. I don't think Drew as world champ is boring. I just don't think he had the opportunity. I think it was the pandemic, and he had his moment in front of an empty arena. I think, and I pay attention, and I love the Drew character, but I think a lot of his character and how it's written is for him to not have his heelish ways be the reason why he doesn't fully get to the pinnacle in the world title. But
yeah, I guess more so, I just think I think it would be, it's maybe boring wasn't the right way to do it, but because he was the MVP of the pandemic. He did carry that shit, and what sucks is and this is such an old conversation, but it sucks that he wasn't to have that run and not recognition, but shine in front of an audience. And we still haven't gotten back to that. We still haven't given him his props for that, or his due to whatever. To me, what it seems, I think he has he won the world title since the pandemic?
He won it for 5 minutes.
Right. But other than that, yeah. So I guess I meant a run, but I don't know. I think either way, I think the question is now what? Whichever heel or face or whatever. The conversation that a lot of people are having is Drew washed? That's the overhanging conversation I'm seeing a lot of people have, which I don't think so. I don't think to any sort of degree.
Yeah.
But this loss to Cody, I don't think super helped.
No.
Which, granted, it was the right decision. I think Cody should have won, but I don't know. I don't know where we're going with Drew. And my takeaway, even not hating on this match, let's get something exciting for Cody. Let's get a storyline now. Let's get granted, which we'll talk about. The Seth and Cody promo, which we can even talk about that now, if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I did want to, sorry, I got kind of distracted because you reminded me. I did want to give a little shout out, if I may.
Oh, yes.
Now that we are an hour and 4 minutes in, I wish I did this earlier, but I want to give a shout out to people. And sorry if I'm mispronouncing any names. Turnstile. Met a couple of Stache Club heads. A couple people came up. So shout out Jeffrey and shout out Ulysses. I hope I'm pronouncing Ulysses. Hope I'm pronouncing your name wrong.
If you're saying that right, I think it's a really nice name.
It's a nice name. Yeah. So yeah, shout out both of you.
Hell
Thanks for saying hi. Yeah, I wish I did that at the beginning of the show, but we're here now. Okay. But anyway, yeah, before we get into All Out, if we want to talk about, since we're talking about Cody, if we want to talk about the promo, how'd you feel about the promo?
I thought pretty damn good.
Me too.
And I'm curious I want to ask you this. Because going into it and knowing that like this was going to be probably the move going forward, but like, does this move you? Does champion first champion kind of almost this crown jewel BS? Besides, because I think we both probably feel the same way about, and mostly everyone does, like that title is not a real thing. Like no one really cares about that title outside of maybe the WWE and maybe the people in that arena. But Cody for Seth Rollins on paper is always a banger of a thing, and they're both probably the two best in the WWE right now. And does this move you?
Yeah, yes, like. Yes, it moves me because, like, ultimately, like, I do appreciate what champion versus champion means. Like, we're going to find out who's the best one, who's the better champion. What I don't like about champion versus champion is, one of the champions has to lose, and then one championship ultimately does come out looking like the better champion, which, like, doesn't help. And then, two, ultimately, it's usually... And we're going to get into why it's a little different in this case. But, like, champion, it's usually just a nothing match. Because, like, the championships don't change hands. It's bragging rights. And now, especially for Crown Jewel, like you said, it's for this fucking Crown Jewel championship, which who gives a shit? It's barely canon. But what I do like about this match, and it has nothing. Both these guys could have championships. They could not have championships. The Crown Jewel Championship has nothing to do with it. But I really did enjoy this promo, which is why it did move me. And why I'm so bought in. I mean, Cody and Seth at first like button heads, and then Seth like really puffing his chest and being like, you think you're the guy? I'm the guy. You come in here. I've been holding shit down forever. I'm the future. You can be the quarterback, but you're my quarterback. Ugh. Coach Rollins, General Manager Rollins.
Because I think they alluded to what Cody said in the press recently, which was like, yeah, when Triple H eventually croaks, there's going to be a 5-way battle to lead WWE.
I didn't really read into that, but I saw a little.
He was basically saying like, yeah, who's gonna take over after Triple H?
That's so funny.
And it's like, he's like, yeah, obviously I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring.
Why does it have to be like kayfabe a wrestler? Like so, which like it would. I'm not saying it wouldn't be, but like very funny to almost act like act like it in cave. Like once the boss dies, well, Rey Mysterio might be the.
He listed, I think himself.
Sure, makes sense.
Seth
makes sense.
And I forget the third person. But then he also kind of
Did he say Roman?
He threw in Roman at the end. Was like, if he is interested in staying around, type of thing. Which is like, yeah, he'll probably be busy in Hollywood, just like Dwayne. But yeah, I think they kind of alluded to that in this promo.
That's funny.
And man, I would say go on a limb and say this is Seth Rollins' biggest match since maybe WrestleMania 40. Because, man, Cody brought up at the end of the promo.
Yeah.
You're 0-3 against Cody fucking Rhodes. So you're gonna tell me that Seth's gonna eat a fourth loss in a row to Cody Rhodes in the modern WWE? This is a huge match for Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has to win this match, and I think I would love to see Cody kind of really dive into the whole, I want to see you do it alone. Have those two goons that are standing right in the rampway, have them stay in America for Crown Jewel.
And he goes, hey, they're not goons.
Yeah, Paul Heyman was going, goons? I'm a goon now? Like, oh, so funny.
They're not goons. Hey.
Oh, Paul Heyman
goes, they're the future.
Yeah, so
but then,
good.
like, Cody even, after Seth is, like, puffing out his chest and whatever, then Cody's like, hey, man, like, I respect you. Like, I respect you. He goes, you were my shield at 40. Which is, love when they just drop that.
Yeah.
And then Seth having to admit of like, well, you know what? Like, I am currently wearing the watch that you gave me at 40 out of brotherhood. And I guess I didn't see this on my own, but I guess they kind of built on, I guess Becky was on Cody's podcast and Cody asked if Seth was wearing the watch he gave him. And Becky said, hasn't worn it once. And I imagine in kayfabe. So just like, it was really cool to see how it played up of Seth being so defensive and so used to having to be like, no, fuck you, no, I'm the best. And then Cody being like, hey man, like he said like you're the reason I'm here. Cody was like, you're so important to me. I wouldn't be here without you. You were my first opponent back. You're who I faced to establish myself to get this title and da-da-da. Like he really, and then Seth was kind of just like taken aback by it. And like there was a moment where Cody's leaving back up the ramp. The Vision gets in front of him and Seth kind of just brushes him away. Said, no, not the, give him the respect. So I do think we're going to get like, Visions, Seth's gonna be like, don't come out. There was a really nice part or moment backstage where Seth is just still looking at the watch and Becky's
going back and forth,
pacing back and forth, just like, which also like, so props to fucking Becky for killing it, just spitting off, just like, who does he think he is? What do you think? Da-da-da, da-da. And the whole time, Seth just totally focused and looking at the watch and like contemplating. It's great. I love, again, so it has, I'm very excited for this match. The build is there. It just ends up, I think it just coincidentally is happening at Crown Jewel, and they're just like, sure, whatever. It's for this fucking championship. But like, this is the story. This is, you know what I mean? It's to crown the real, the real head dog or top dog or whatever.
And I like too how they had like the new Cody is going to be on Monday Night Raw. They also use Cody in some backstage segments to then extend or maybe enhance the Jey Uso storyline where Cody's asking Jimmy, how's your brother? Which I love when someone asks a question they know the answer to. But like,
even Cody sat backstage too with Jey too, and he was just like, I forget exactly what he said, but just kind of just like hey man, like I know you and da-da-da. And then Cody left and Jey was just kind of like, just little just
Yeah, I kind of was thinking about a little bro in him a little bit.
Yeah. One thing before we pivot to All Out, we got a John Cena update on Twitter. Have you seen this? John Cena quote tweeted his own tweet of hashtag Cena versus Styles thoughts an hour ago. He said, I do not choose my opponents, but parentheses, even through tough times, close parentheses, always listen to the fans. At AJ Styles, are you listening? Better yet, Triple H, ... Are you listening? Hashtag Cena versus Styles.
This guy just plays my emotions on a fiddle, man. Oh, like, yeah. I mean, so that's looking like we're getting that at Crown Jewel.
Or we're getting that at Crown Jewel, sure. But this is leading to Triple H versus John Cena. Final match. Triple H is he's I don't know what like heart stuff you need to get, but he's gonna put on a fucking
don't worry, they'll wait for WrestleMania 43. The technology will be there. It'll probably be Triple H in like a robo suit.
Yeah, very 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 similar to his Terminator costume. He'll come out in that. But like, what are we talking about? What's going? And like also it's as annoying as it is. It goes to Triple H where he you enjoying the show. You enjoying the ride? It's all part of the show, brother. It's all part of the show.
Maybe not at Crown Jewel. What if this is going to be happening in our neck of the woods in Boston in like a few weeks?
AJ Cena?
Yeah.
Fucking rock.
Yeah, dude.
Fucking rock.
I'm looking at tickets and they've actually went down in StubHub a little bit.
Have they?
I almost jumped on. There was the cheapest ticket was $194 in the cheap seats, sitting next to Eddie.
Oh man, Jesus. Getting close to 200. Like if it was like, if you can just get me to 125, it's still like I still don't want to pay that much, but like
for bleachers,
God, 200 is just fuck.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I'm still thinking about it, but regardless, I'm going to be outside making noise.
If only like all these other damn content creators, if we can just get in the pockets of all.
I know, dude. I know.
So funny. I'm just kidding. Obviously, that was sarcasm. It has been, not that we have to talk about it, but it has been very crazy. Like content creators have just like paid attention to All Out, and everyone's like, what the fuck? AEW's paying everyone. AEW is like, I don't know. A lot of those people are my friends, and it's fucking everyone relax.
I wouldn't mind a piece of the pie. Tony, hit me up.
I almost tweeted, and I thought better of it. I almost feel like, hey, I'll gladly sell out of someone. If AEW or WWE wanted to pay me to react to fucking, I don't know, Grayson Waller coming out.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Oh my God, I'll do it.
Yeah. Easy game. Easy game. I'm for sale.
Oh, jeez. Wild. Weird day on the internet. Okay.
Yeah, I also had it was a bad weekend for the internet, for the IWC. I think there's a lot of tribalism. It's tough when you have All Out and WrestlePalooza on the same day. And there's 4 or 5 times this weekend where I had a tweet and I just you know what? I asked myself, does this make me look like a douchebag? And 4 times I was like, yep, and I deleted the tweet. So I feel good about that.
Well, it makes it even tougher when All Out kicks WrestlePalooza's ass, baby. In my opinion, let's buckle up here. Let's start out. We are in the second half of the show here, so we don't need to, kind of just touch on the bigger things. We're gonna go over all the matches. We have Cope and Cage defeating FTR. Fun match, really great opener. I think the highlight here, speaking of Cena, Edge hitting just God, wrestling's beautiful. Hitting the 5-knuckle shuffle, looking at his hand, whole crowd, you can't see me, hitting the 5-knuckle shuffle into an FU. Thank you Cena chants in the AEW arena, which the moment was so great. I do just, and this is me, maybe I'm annoying about this, I'm curious how you feel. I do just slightly miss, it makes me miss 2019, 2020 AEW when it was it was punk rock and it was a rebellion. It felt almost like ECW.
Oh, you want to fuck John Cena chant?
Not necessarily, but very, very crazy to see AEW. And granted, everyone's going to pop. It is Cena. We are in a different world, but I did see some discussion of just how crazy is it that AEW is given a thank you Cena chant? Where 2019, the AEW attitude was so just fuck everything on the other side. We are the alternative.
I think if John Cena was retiring in 2019, the same thing would have happened. I think so. I think John Cena.
No, I don't disagree with that.
But I hear you saying.
I'm just more so saying in the general scope of things. That's what I mean. Because it's John Cena.
It was so
it's different.
Sweet too, considering.
100%.
Knowing how that's how
I'm not saying
smart.
I'm on this side of the camp. I'm just kind of bringing it up.
Yeah, I hear you saying.
But no, it was a very, very touching moment. That's why I was like, how can you not be romantic about fucking wrestling, man?
Yeah, but screw John Cena. This is all about not Beth Phoenix returning or debuting AEW. This is all about the Green Bastard. Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys.
See, I'm not a trailer. I never watched Trailer Park Boys, so it didn't really hit me. But I can imagine
it was a really funny. I think was it pre-show segment with some hockey legend. And for the one person that watches Stache Club podcast and is an hour deep and likes hockey, and for me not to know the name, I'm sure I'm gonna get killed by that one person. But the hockey legend, and then backstage segment with Bubbles, which was so funny. And I love that this new dynamic between Cope and Cage, where Christian is still an asshole.
He's still
he's still himself. And Edge is
now he has a friend.
Edge is oh, that's my asshole. And the whole dynamic of this tag team is great. But yeah, no, in seriousness, Beth Copeland, AEW debut, let's go.
Beautiful. Beth Phoenix comes out and takes away Stokely. And then after the match, we had Cope getting handcuffed to the ropes and then having to watch his dear wife get fucking driven into the mat, which kind of shows me we are far away from this match being over, or this feud being over, excuse me. But yeah, great opening, especially they're in Canada, they're in Toronto. Great opening. Everyone looked fantastic. It's kind of
not surprising because I think Edge can still go, but a very good match. I kind of thought maybe this might be just an okay match. Very good match.
All right, here we are. I'm ready for you to lay the hammer down. Eddie Kingston defeats Big Bill. Talk to me. I might turn the AC on if you want.
Yeah.
Talk to me. I'm listening.
Here's the thing, and I feel like you're queuing me up to kind of shit on Eddie here. I love Eddie Kingston. Oh, okay. I do. I just
thought I should probably talk on mic. I just thought I thought there was like a week or two ago where I brought up Eddie Kingston. You didn't seem to be that big of a fan.
I wonder. I brought him up, and my thing with Eddie is I don't love his in-ring The chops and like again, and it kind of reared his head at the finish of the match where he completely whiffed on the spinning back fist.
That's tough.
But I think he's like one of the best promos in wrestling, and I love one of the best things about pro wrestling is when a person is real. And I genuinely don't think Eddie Kingston knows that pro wrestling is a work. So that makes me love Eddie Kingston.
Okay, I take back my cue up.
I love the East Coast vibe of him, and now I love this new tag team with him and Hook potentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a very rough ending to the match. And again, I do not fucking understand why they announced Eddie returning beforehand. Like, if anything we know about pro wrestling is returns and surprise returns are like the best part. And like it even showed its face with how the arena reacted for the a reunion of Jurassic Express, yes. Jurassic Express and Beth Copeland. Like, why? And again, I don't think there was any person that was like, oh, Eddie Kingston's coming back to All Out. That's why I'm buying the show. Respectful to Eddie Kingston. I think if you're going to buy the AEW All Out show, you were already buying it. So the fact that they could have had a moment that went super viral and like Eddie's bravado and like in character just like fits so well for a surprise return. And again, my only criticism with this All Out show was, again, it was kind of a bit too long. This match could have been a Dynamite match.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. I think like even just like the history and story he has built up with like a Mox or a Hangman. Like imagine him coming out like post match. Not that he has to not that he needs to be automatically thrown into the world title picture or whatever, but like some sort of like his music hits, he comes down just like
if he made the save for Darby.
Sure, yeah. I just don't know why. And again, like Big Bill's fine, just whatever.
I like Big Bill.
Yeah, he's
like 8 foot tall and
he's pretty
jacked.
massive.
Those don't grow on trees. You can't teach that.
The learning tree. Apparently you can. But yeah, the finish was tough. I wish, and like, I don't know whose this is on, and like, I guess some wrestlers do a better job at it, where like
Oscar.
Well, no, not the spinning fist in general, but like they missed the finish. And like just like them going ahead and just like selling the finish anyway is like, oh, you needed to throw an audible. All you needed to do, he whiffs it, Big Bill gets up, hits him with like some sort of slam or whatever. You go for one more minute and then you get the back fist and then you end it. Like really, really dumb decision to whiff it. Big Bill just sells. Even commentary was like,
He missed.
Yeah, I think they literally said he missed. And then just like Bill fainted 1, 2, 3. So the ending was tough. To me, I was a little annoyed of just like, we can call something on the fly here.
No, don't call anything on the fly. Just phrase it like Big Bill got so scared of the fist, he passed out from just like the exploding death match.
Of course. But yeah, I agree with everything. I'm not going to repeat everything you said because I agree that like Eddie, I don't know why they just didn't do a surprise thing for Eddie. I love Eddie. Hook came back or has been back, but Hook and Eddie.
Hook out of the ops and maybe in a tag team to Eddie Kingston. That has a nice fun dynamic with
down for that for sure. All right, let's move on to Mark Briscoe defeating MJF in a tables and tacks match. This is one of a couple times tonight, or during this episode for tonight, that I'm going to say, hey, this match might not be everyone's cup of tea. You know whose cup of tea it is? It's my cup of tea. I love this shit. Mark Briscoe covering the ring in tacks before they even lock
Disgusting.
up. Fucking just, I don't know. I love this. Another note I have here that I want to note before we get too deep into it is Bryan Danielson on commentary is just icing on the cake, man. He's so good. We got a tombstone on a tack covered chair. I mean, there's so many spots here. We don't got to go over every single beat. MJF wearing the all white. Them getting so bloody. MJF's dick being bloody, basically. Yeah, I personally loved it. I had a lot of fun. Not my match of the week, which I do have. We're gonna get into it.
Oh yeah,
folks, stay tuned. We have our match and wrestlers of the week coming up at the end of the show.
A lot to choose from.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun. As someone who did have MJF, pretty shocked. Not shocked, but like I didn't expect Mark Briscoe to super win. I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world, but like I expected it was going to be like, oh, MJF wins, boom, boom, boom. But fucking Mark Briscoe getting the dub, and then later on teasing Orange Cassidy return to the conglomeration. It's unreal. I loved it. I love this. What are we thinking?
Like I said earlier in the day, I took my time and I went through the webs and I watched MJF versus Mystico at CMLL, and great match. Love to see you watch it. Maybe it could be a Patreon thing. I don't know. Once he lost that match, though, spoiler alert, sorry.
I knew I definitely knew it. I knew he dropped the title.
Once he lost that match, I was fully confident this guy is going to lose to Mark Briscoe. And Maxwell, Jacob Freeman, enjoy your honeymoon. Come back strong as ever. Get that contract, cash it in, and lead this company like I know you can and should.
But also, like within a span of 18 hours, having those. And were they in Mexico for CMLL?
I believe
Where were they?
so. I think Mexico.
So hopping on a flight from Mexico, jumping over the whole U.S. into Toronto. Like people throw around like generational. That's like part of his gimmick, but like truly a one of a kind athlete, wrestler, like generational.
And I'm so happy because a few weeks ago, I think I said I was like, oh, MJF kind of getting stale a little bit. He is so back. I'm so in love with him again. That promo a few weeks ago, these matches, like he's the youngest best wrestler in the world, and then 2. I was also critical of I think right before All In, and MJF was, they were heading into the Casino Battle Royal match, whatever. And, they're doing this feud with MJF and Mark Briscoe, and MJF is classic MJF heel, bringing up, Mark's unfortunately dead brother, Jay. And I'm like, I don't understand why you're doing this cheap heat, and if there's going to be no payoff, well, guess what, brother? There was a payoff. Huge, massive, career-defining win for Mark Briscoe in this point against MJF, who's like one of the best wrestlers in the world. So super happy for Mark, and like what a spectacle of a match this was, huh?
I mean, we have like I said, loved it. I'm ready to move on. This match, I don't have much to say. I do know it was like good. I don't have much to say. We can kind of breeze past it. This was also when I was getting ready to go to Turnstile, because this is when I stopped watching it live, and I had to then I caught up on the rest of it the next day. But I was getting ready for Turnstile. I didn't end up watching this match back. But the Hurt Syndicate defeats what I guess they're calling themselves the Demand.
I guess so, yeah.
From what I saw online is that this was like a it was a pretty emotional match. MVP looked great, I guess. I don't know. I kind of I'm leaning to you on this a little bit, because I don't know.
Yeah, it was an okay match. It was good to see MVP in the ring. Again, love big guys that look like professional wrestlers, big meaty men slapping meat. And like one of my criticisms of AEW was like, when we get to the pay-per-view and the matches, like most of the matches are really great, but what kind of hinders it sometimes is like the predictability. This was an unpredictable outcome where the Demand beats the Hurt Syndicate, but I don't think this was the right team that won. I was very surprised to see the Ricochet and the Gates of Agony win this match.
Yeah, sorry, I had it back. I had it backwards. I think I said Hurt Syndicate won. Hurt Syndicate did not win.
Yeah,
you're right. Yes,
I was shocked, and I'm like, this is very interesting why they're doing that. I mean, I get that Ricochet and the Gates of Agony are a new faction or whatever, but like Hurt Syndicate, falling off at a rapid rate, and again, pretty solid match, but this match probably could have been a Dynamite. And to be honest with you, and it is what it is, and like that's my criticism with the show, because I think I do agree with you. All Out was better than WrestlePalooza, but it's a little too long.
Yeah, it was a little long, especially as me trying to catch up with it next day.
Yeah,
I spent the whole day watching the rest of all of WrestlePalooza, and then I had to catch up the rest of All Out, and then not that I'm complaining, but I was like, I woke up Sunday, I was like, got a heavy task ahead of me today. I got a lot of stuff to watch.
Oh yeah.
All right, move on to Mercedes Moné defeating Riho in fun match. I wouldn't call it an all-timer, or even maybe Mercedes' best of her run. I personally love Riho. I love how commentary was putting her over, emphasized she's the first AEW world champ. She's fucking back. She is what a lot of people are saying is the Roman Reigns of AEW. I fucking love her. This match was solid. Mercedes Moné always has a great presentation. What are your thoughts? I see a hand going. Let's hear it.
I don't want to talk about it.
You hate Riho.
okay, I don't hate anybody.
Come on, say it. We need another viral. We need another viral clip.
I can't get into Rio.
Okay,
she's too small.
She's tiny.
I've never liked Rio. Unfortunately, like no. See, that's,
clip.
I know. It's just like
I'm gonna pair that with the Kyrie saying.
I hate being. I don't hate being honest. I like being honest, but like
I hate being honest.
Hate me saying I don't like. I love Rio as a person, but as a professional wrestler,
you're not necessarily a fan of the person.
I can't get into her.
I'm teasing you, but you're allowed to say that. I mean,
I can't get into her. Yeah. This match was whatever. I thought Mercedes at times, like it's a very interesting dynamic where I rarely is Mercedes the bigger wrestler out of the two.
Sure.
But again, everybody's the bigger wrestler when they wrestle Rio, and they have to sell for her. And again, not my cup of tea, but good effort from both.
Damn, the Rio stands are gonna be coming for you.
Yep.
I won't. This won't be the clip. I promise you, this won't be the clip.
Please,
this won't be the clip.
I would like to still do this podcast.
All right, we'll move on to the AEW Unified Championship match. Okada defeating Takeshita and Mascara Dorada. Hope I'm pronouncing that name right. Great fucking match. Wouldn't blame anyone for having this as their match of the weekend. A lot of Okada and Takeshita just straight up one-on-one teases before eventually kind of locking up fully. I loved, as someone who doesn't really know Dorada that much, love seeing Dorada fucking MVP of this match. I would say the story here was kind of like Takeshita and Okada kind of not paying as much attention as they should have to Dorada, and that kind of costing them for a lot of the offense. Highlight for me was Dorada hitting a double Hurricane Rana on both men. That shit rocked. But another takeaway for me is as good as Dorada is and was in this match, the story kind of also leads to like, I can't wait until Okada, Takeshita straight up and they're going to murder each other. But I think the right person won. As much as I did have Takeshita, I was hoping this would be the Takeshita moment, but maybe it would mean more if it's a straight up one-on-one passing the torch, Okada to Takeshita. But this was a highlight of the show for me.
He won the G1. He's supposed to go on a run here. Unfortunately, because again, I've seen a lot of people saying that this was the match of the weekend, the best match of the card. I had to get into an Uber at this point to go into Boston. I did finish when I got back to my lady's house. I didn't finish the show and watch both. And that's when I kind of had the dual screen because I'm a real wrestling fan. I don't pick and choose. I have multiple screens. I'm an iPad kid. But I did miss this match, unfortunately, and of course it was probably the match of the night. So
yeah, worth going back to. I mean, like definitely, I just had like a personal different match of the night, but like this shit stole the show. Like it's. I think a lot of people talk about like you can tell when Okada wants to be Okada and show up, and like this match was it. I probably would have maybe reconsidered my Takeshita. He won the G1. He has to win this match theory if I kind of did remember that Takeshita and Okada are in the same faction, which was like the story of this match. Right, they both in the Don Callis family and kind of like figuring that out, as weird as the Don Callis family is these days. But yeah, I don't have much more to say about that other than just like that shit rocked. I didn't really have the beats down for it, but like if for anyone who hasn't seen it, if you're a WWE fan or you don't really tap in. All right, we'll go to and Jimmy, this is the second time that I'm going to say this might not be everyone's cup of tea. Oh, yeah? But, oh, baby, is this my cup of tea. Jon Moxley defeats Darby Allin in a casket match. The first piece of criticism I've already seen in this match, a coffin match. The first piece of criticism I've seen is that was actually a casket, not a coffin. I guess there's a difference. Who knows? I mean, it's what we were signing up for. This is what we were expecting. A bloody, brutal mess. Darby Allin hitting a coffin drop off the doorway immediately. They were stabbing each other with a fork. Darby manipulating the ear with the fork. They're trying to kill each other. Bryan Danielson, which I thought, regardless of how like brutal and how brutal the act is, like nice piece of storytelling with Bryan Danielson giving Darby the plastic bag to avenge Bryan Danielson. Darby's suffocating Moxley. Moxley ends up getting out of it. There's somewhere in the match there's a coffin drop into the coffin. Pac makes a return in this match, helps put Darby into the coffin, really sells the ending. And then they're kind of we'll get to what happens kind of later in the night too. But then to end the match, they put Darby in the thing, bada bing, bada boom, and like a funeral, they're walking out with the coffin, all of them. Lot here. What are some things? I know I kind of did like a rundown. What are some things you're kind of picking out here? What are you thinking?
Happy to see Pac back. That's huge.
Absolutely.
A really interesting look. Moxley. I thought maybe the wrong person won here. Like the whole Death Riders thing. Like got Danny Garcia in the fold now. Like I thought maybe.
I had Darby.
Really?
I'm not sure who I had.
I think I had Darby.
I think I don't disagree.
Oh, I did because my stat was Darby is 4-1 in coffin matches, and
I don't disagree. I was surprised that, especially with not to just like take it from you, but like especially with what happens later in the night where. The Death Riders are kind of gloating, and then John Moxley's like, all right, everyone, see you back at the hotel, or whatever the fuck. And then Darby pops out, puts Moxley in a body bag, lights him on fucking fire. So then, like, Darby ended up standing tall anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure why. I get, like, the Pac, return help, but, like,
does Darby not have any friends?
I feel like Darby has a lot of friends in the thing. You know what I mean? I'm with you. I understand.
But Death Riders, though, I mean, I really thought once the title was out of the briefcase, we would start seeing the crumblings, but they kind of just gaining more numbers, and they're
stronger now.
They're still here. And my favorite meme right now is any faction's Titantron goes with the Death Riders. All you gotta do is slow it by like maybe quarter of a speed. Black and white SEPA, I think it's called, and then the banger theme song is my favorite thing going right now. But yeah, I'm curious to see where they go from here. And I thought maybe this could have been more of a highlighting Daniel Garcia's now involvement with the faction. Danny. But, Beloved returns. Where could this be going? Do you think Sting will come back? I think Sting. And was this on Dynamite? Do you remember Daniel Bryan whispering something into Darby's? Or was that the plastic bag? Probably that spot maybe.
I don't super remember, but maybe it was like the
bag.
The hey, I'm gonna give you the plastic. Yeah, because he did like very funny. He did like take out an AEW branded duffel bag, like put it on the floor. He's like, what? I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. And he's like, get him, Darby. Get him.
He's really good at commentary.
He's so fucking good.
Way better than The Miz.
Whoa, hot take. No, I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's crazy. I kind of just wanted to disagree because just to have you know what I mean? But no. I thought The Miz was great on commentary, but like he wasn't a Daniel Bryan for sure.
He came in hot. He was yelling.
He was a little excited. He was a little excited. You could tell by the end of it. That's one of my whatever video I made. Like, there was like one. You could tell his voice was like pretty strained toward the end. If he just took it down a couple octaves, like it would have helped a lot. But yeah, I am curious where this. I don't know if I see Sting coming back. I think what do you if you continue Darby Moxley, like someone's got to die.
Yeah,
someone has to die
at this point. And that's another thing too with like this type of match, like right after just seeing the thumbtack tables match, and it's like too much of you're damn it, D'Lo. You're putting like a hat and a hat. There's too much of the same thing on the card. And I kind of feel like Darby probably should have won this match, but Moxley kind of maybe did need a win. I don't know. Where do you go from here? To be honest with you, I don't know.
Well, I think run back the exploding barbed wire death match. I think,
oh, maybe,
and do it well this time.
I'd be scared considering that Darby would be in the match, that they do it too well.
God, Jesus.
When Darby put him in the duffel bag and lit him on fire, the fire kind of went out a little bit too soon. You know what I mean? The fire extinguisher came and it was already kind of out.
Here's the thing. I was already getting nervous.
Yeah, it was like crazy.
Like there was so much fire. Yeah. I thought I started to see like creep up towards his head. Like if you noticed, it's like obviously everything's planned, whatever. He only put like the gasoline on like the bottom half of the bag. So I was like, okay, good. But like a lot of fucking fire, and I was like, I hope it doesn't get up towards his head. So like, I'm fine with it being out. I'm fine with it. All right, let's move on to AEW Women's Title match. Chris Statlander defeats Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter, and Tekla to become your new AEW Women's Champion. This match was so fun. I think it had an unfortunate place on the card, but this was a standout match for the night of the night for me. I'm not really seeing as many people talk about it. I think maybe some other stuff overshadowed it, I guess, but like I thought this was great. I really, really enjoyed myself here. Everyone looked good. Tekla looked good. Jamie Hayter, kind of this being her big return match, looked fucking killer. I hope, obviously not for the title now, but I hope Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm start running it for sure. You have a bunch of women here to now chase after Statlander's title. I want to see a rematch with Toni Storm. She was all distraught. And yeah, kind of a shocking, not a roll up, but a whatever you kind of call it, maneuver, sort of a pin. Statlander, new champ. Big surprise.
Huge surprise. And here's the thing I kind of alluded to earlier at the whole AEW predictable, when you do the unpredictable. This to me was the wrong move.
Whoa, okay.
This was the wrong move. And it's no diss to Stat, but Toni Storm is the best character in wrestling. This run has been generational. She's beaten the titans of the industry one-on-one, one after the other. You have this great four-way match. Sure, and everyone knows I'm a slut for fatal four-way matches, but to me, the booking of this match was like, whoa. You have Jamie's first match back, and you throw her in a four-way. I feel like Thekla's your new big signing. You want to have her in the match too. And then Stat, a very accomplished, great women's wrestler.
AEW original,
for sure. I just don't get her winning the match here. I don't understand the booking of it. Again, like if you want Stat to then win the title, which clearly did because that's what they booked it to be, but it would mean so much more if Stat beat her one-on-one, Toni Storm that is. And like to me, like the importance of like this championship run and Toni Storm like deserved to be ended by and had the most to gain by having the match be one-on-one and no other excuses or whatever. It made for a shocking moment for sure, but like you said, not too many people are really talking about it, which I think is kind of a telltale sign of like maybe this wasn't the right move. Maybe the unpredictable super world title change probably should have happened at the main event, like I said last week, but neither here nor there. Congratulations to Statlander, though. She is an AEW original, great wrestler, had to overcome so many injuries. I'm so happy for her, but I was really taken back about the decision here.
But do you think you'd be even more critical of it if it was a one-on-one? Because I think that's part of the booking is that it was the fatal four-way, and I think it being like, anyone could have pinned anyone, and like Toni Storm had the card stacked against her, and it was a surprise, whatever. I don't fully disagree of that in terms of like, I love a shock, I love a surprise, which is kind of just more so how I lean on it being positive. But I don't disagree that like it's out of nowhere in the context of who I thought was gonna be next up. Like I did not see Stat winning this at all.
No way, shape, or form. And then you had Toni Storm run off Mariah May. You had Toni Storm beat Mercedes 10 belts, and you had Toni Storm choke out Athena. And for all that momentum to be then lost in a fatal four-way match where it's like, Statlander won the title in a fluky way.
But that's what I mean, though. If it was one-on-one, it'd be even worse. Because imagine if Stat won this on one-on-one.
To me, it would elevate Stat to like, she deserved it. She's a badass. She beat the world beater. To me, this now looks like Stat won on a fluke. She's a fluke champion. So that's how I'm kind of viewing it, and I'm disappointed because as a huge fan of Toni Storm, I feel like the person that to take the weight of that crown should have been the next world beater, not someone that, to me now, my viewing of it is like, an underdog, unexpected, lucky champion. And I love the unpredictability, but not here. And I know it sounds like so like wishy-washy, but like, I don't know. I think if you were going to do a shocking world title win, it should have been your men's world champion, not your women's world champion. But that's just me.
Yeah. No, I see where you're coming from. Like I said, it was, honestly, Statlander winning was more shocking than if Kyle Fletcher would have won.
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think that's super crazy. I also think, too, for me personally, this would have been a better spot for an unexpected win for Willow Nightingale, who I think has the
Jimmy, she wasn't in the match.
No, I know, but like Willow and Stat are very close, and like I easily could have seen, Willow could have easily been in this match too, and it had been a banger. And like to me, Willow Nightingale has like all the potential in the world. I think she could main event at WrestleMania. And I know that's 100%. Crazy to say because she's in a different company, but like that's how much.
I think she can main event at WrestleMania while being in AEW. That's how high that thing.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I get where you're coming from. I think also it's too like, I think it'll be a situation where I'm curious to hear what you end up thinking about it. Let's say a month down the line,
sure.
Because I think this will. Because again, you are right. It was not a, for lack of a better term, roll up. Where Stat got it, it was unexpected. I think again, a lot of it being a fatal 4-way played into it.
The crowd was stunned.
But I think this is going to lead to the one-on-one. And then that's going to be the prove it match of like, was it a fluke? Was it not? Then I think the result of that will kind of like add to the story and whatever. And if Stat fucking loses it, then that's like a even bigger conversation of like, well, what was that win? But I think if we are leading to then a defining Statlander win over Tony, but then that's a bigger conversation of like, well, like you said, what did you build Tony up for?
Totally.
I think I am just way more. I mean, at this point, I think, a shine for a Chris Statlander and or a Willow Nightingale. So like you said, they are kind of sometimes balled in the same bottle. To me, it was almost, it's long overdue. It was shocking, but again, I lean way more on it being the fatal 4-way. Because I think if it was like one-on-one and you didn't have a build, if you had a build and like all this, then like a one-on-one build, that's a different story. But like if it was like one of these AEW like number one contenders, straight up, no story, I think it might have been even a little more head scratching. But I'm curious to see if they, as long as they don't fumble it, then I think this will look better. But I think a lot of it depends on where they kind of go with Statlander as the new champion. I'm really curious to see what we do on Wednesday.
I think you're absolutely right. I definitely need to give this more time before because with AEW too, I'm so guilty of it. I play armchair booker so often, and I'm like so critical. Even earlier when I was talking about being wrong about the MJF Briscoe dialogue leading up to All In, and kind of now that we're fully done with that rivalry, it makes total sense and it paid off greatly. So like again, another example of maybe I need to see the bigger picture. So,
but to your credit, which again I agree with, is like you're right. Toni Storm is the best character in wrestling. She's been killing it. So like, which I think is why it's been more shocking to take the title off her while she's so hot. And I think a lot of the conversation was like, well, if Mercedes didn't take the title off her, if Athena, then who was? So maybe this was a good way to, hey, we don't have a World Eater necessarily. Let's do the Fatal 4-Way, shocking win, build up Stat with a rematch and da-da-da.
Sure.
But again, why I'm kind of shocked. I'm just like, yeah, I am curious now where we go with Tony and I don't know. Does she now she doesn't have the title, does she revert away from Timeless? And then we get back the old school tone, you know what I mean?
I hope not.
I hope not too, because I think Timeless is the best character in wrestling right now.
Hell yeah.
But no, I do not blame you from a perspective of like, you take the world title off of who is the best right now. And it's like, well, I get it. All right, we'll go on to the AEW Tag Team Titles 4-Way Ladder Match. Brodito defeating and retaining the titles over the Young Bucks, Jet Speed, and the Don Callis family. There's way too many spots in this to go one by one. My favorite, though, was, I'm going to struggle to describe it, but it was 4 people laid out, 3 people on tables, I think 1 person laid out on a ladder, and like one by one everyone like dove onto their opponent and the cameras like kept cutting to each one. I thought that was beautiful. I think Kevin Knight and Speedball really shined here. There's a moment I think like Kevin Knight went under the ladder and Jet Speed went over the ladder. I forget who it was, someone did a crazy moonsault hole in the ladder, like a killer match. I fucking love this match. I did not expect Brodito to win. I am stoked that they retained. I think this is the biggest retain of their run. Shows to me that AEW and Tony and whatever like believe in them as a tag team, which is really great to see. How'd you like this match?
Very solid match, a lot of fun. Car crash TV. I can watch AEW tag team ladder matches until the day I die. I'd be very happy. I am very sad to see the Young Bucks, have given up the broke boy gimmick.
I know, it was so good. It was good.
Kills me. But Brodito, it's an interesting tag team, and like I'm someone that loves Brody King, and shout out Queen of the Ring Alex post presser asked him like, oh, was it Alex or maybe it was Con Man? One of our friends asked a question about to Brody of like, do you have any singles titles that you'd be wanting to focus on. He kind of shot it down. I was like, I'm focused on this tag team. I love this tag team. I'm with Brodito. Making these tag team titles mean something. And I think that's what they're doing. And I just kind of, it just feels like such a random duo.
It's
and I'm still getting used to
random, yeah. 100%.
But like I've seen people put, and I unfortunately, again, there's almost so much time in a week, in a day, in a month, whatever. I haven't seen much of Brodito's Ring of Honor work, and some people are toting Brodito as the wrestler of the year.
Yeah,
and I'm not to say anything because again, I haven't seen all of his matches, so I can't say no. But
I agree.
I'd like to see more of it, and both their characters feel so random, but that's why we love it. Wrestling's the best. Yeah,
it works.
Yeah.
And then we had a Jack Perry. We talked about this earlier, but Jack Perry returns, turns on the Bucks, beats them down, and then I fucking loved the video package of him like resuscitating Luchasaurus, and like it felt just so like, I think that shit's missing in wrestling right now. It's just like the super over the top characters and these like cinematic little like story driven videos. We don't get it a lot. Luchasaurus comes out, takes off the kill switch strap or belt, whatever you want to call it. Jurassic Express seemingly back. They played the theme song. Very cool. Very sweet.
I just can't believe we're at a point now where we're getting AEW nostalgia. We're that old now that we're like, oh, remember back then when like the Jack Perry was likable?
Here's the thing. I'll tell you what. You kind of with your Riho and whatever. like I'll meet you somewhere. A lot of people are. I love Jurassic Express. I was fully on the Jungle Boy train. Yeah. Now, as much as I was invested in the real glass and like all that shit, like I love the drama of it and blah blah, and I have my opinions on whatever. But I was never bought into Scapegoat Jack Perry. I never really liked, and like a lot of people like fucking loved Scapegoat Jack Perry, and it never did anything for. He didn't. And maybe it's, maybe I'm going to be hypocritical here, but like, a lot of your discussion with Riho is like, she's small, it's not believable. You're telling me Jack Perry? You know what I mean? I like the Scapegoat character. It did not match who Jack Perry was/looked like. You know what I mean?
I like Jack Perry when he first came to AEW because his name was Jungle Boy, and he literally looked like a boy, and he had a dinosaur, and that tag team was a lot of fun. And it was it was fun. And now it's like, okay, now the progression of his heel stuff and his rivalry with Hook and like the stuff with the Bucks, which like I don't know, like when did they break up? I don't remember the Bucks and Perry breaking up when they were.
I think that was the moment.
I guess that was the moment. And like now too, I do look at it as like, oh, you're kind of regressing. Both of these characters, Luchasaurus.
No, don't say that. No, we're back.
Be happy, right?
We're back.
Stop being so critical, Jimmy. Right? I hear you, but like it is kind of like going back to the well in some sorts of like, oh, so now you got. I hope they take some of their character progressions that they both turned heel and they're Jungle Boy. He's now no longer
Jungle Man.
He's a Jungle Man hopefully now. So we'll see where we go from here. But I'm still very someone that I'm a CM Punk guy. I don't like Jack Perry, so we'll see. He's gonna have to do some special stuff with this dinosaur on TV to win me back over. But we'll see.
Well, that's kind of why I brought up not super enjoying the Scapegoat stuff. Where now I'm excited because I do like Jack Perry. I think he's a great wrestler, and like I'm the same with you. I love the Jungle Boy stuff. So I am excited to now. Hopefully, I get more sold on this iteration of Jack Perry as a face with Luchasaurus. And I agree with you. I hope that we stick with more badass Jack Perry while still maybe being a tag team with Luchasaurus, and you're still doing the Jurassic Express thing, but. Luchasaurus also kept his kill switch aggression, so I hope it's Jurassic Express, a little more matured and a little more gritty, but we still but now we're face again, both of them. I'm excited to see where it goes, but yeah, that was kind of my reason for bringing up
Hell yeah.
Scapegoats. I also hope next week, or I guess Wednesday, we don't see Jack Perry forgetting everything and then coming out in his Jungle Boy attire, you know what I mean?
And then Jack Perry, too, running off one of the biggest superstars in the pro wrestling business. How much money that probably cost AEW. Now he brings back Tarzan Boy, licensing fees. This guy just loves running up Tony Khan's pockets. It's crazy.
Tony Khan's got it.
I got
it. If it's someone to run up their pockets. All right, main event here before we wrap up what's turning out to be a 2-hour banger. We have Hangman Adam Page defeating and retaining his AEW World Championship against Kyle Fletcher. A note of this match that we didn't really mention during the predictions is that if Fletcher cheats in any way, he gets stripped of the TNT title. This match fucking rocked. It was over 40-minute or so barn burner. The build-up was really, really good. I liked the pacing and also I loved it. I think Fletcher hit 2 brain busters. One was through the announce table. We got a dead eye from the apron through the table. That shit looked crazy. And then another note that I really loved about this match was how Fletcher pulled out Ospreay's hidden blade, and then Hangman ended up using Swerve's big pressure. So kind of just like taking, from their biggest and most formidable rivals, taking a move from them, applying it now. This match rocked. I loved this. Yeah. What are you thinking? 40-minute
banger of a match. I was that meme of like Patrick Starr looking at 2 screens because again, this was right when Palooza was starting. And it was kind of jarring looking side by side, seeing 2 young, great in-ring pro wrestlers, fast as hell, stiff as hell, real graps, and then looking to my right and seeing John Cena running out, 55-year-old John Cena running out with a bunch of small children, and Brock Lesnar.
And his ass kicked by Brock.
Yeah, so it was kind of jarring. And then, honestly, it unfortunately for me probably wasn't the best idea to watch both at the same time. But because, again, I can tell you maybe a few moves of that match. But I know it was a really good match. I was paying attention. And, of course, the ending, too, had me locked in. I think it was one of those cases, though, again, especially with Tony Storm losing, I know who the hell is going to win this match.
Yeah.
So that, I think, maybe took me out of it towards the end because, again, it was a long boy of a match. I think you could have done the same thing if it was a bit shorter. I know I sound like a hater. I'm very critical. I'm trying to be better. This was a great match, though. It was. And it capped off a great night of professional wrestling. Hangman Adam Page, a world champion that is fighting and someone that I like to will draw me into watching the show week in, week out. So not a bad thing that he's still a world champion. I was wrong, though. I did some research. I was kind of toting last week, and I was really pushing for the Kyle Fletcher agenda, and I really wanted to see it, and I think some other people, too. I think it would have stole the weekend. However, he wouldn't have been the youngest world champion had he won, because I think MJF would have had beaten him by like 4 days.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, because I tweeted out with my chest like, oh, he has to be the youngest world champion. And I was like, like, I got to find out actually when MJF won it. He was like 26 years old, and like it came down to days. It came down to legit days. Yeah. So the whole history thing maybe wouldn't have been worth it then, because again, he'd be the second youngest world champion. But still, Kyle Fletcher is the future. He'll have that title one day.
Well, to your, I know last week you were really toting, Fletcher needing to win this, and like I think like Adam Page, I think was gonna win this match. I think it was the right decision for Adam Page. But if we want to start talking hypotheticals and fantasy booking, like to your credit, like I think you might even tweet this. Like imagine, I'm not saying that the wrong thing happens. I do think Hangman should have won, but imagine if after this fucking barn burner, you ended that night with Kyle fucking Fletcher with that AEW World Title. Talk about a surprise. It's kind of why, I said earlier, like, it would have been a bigger shock to me than Tony Storm losing. If we close this show out with, like, Kyle Fletcher, who I think a lot of people, and maybe I'm just talking out my ass, but I think a lot of people who tuned into All Out, I think there were a lot of, I think WWE's in a position right now where they are pushing away their audience. And they're pushing their audience away into the arms of a Jacksonville Jaguars owner in Tony Khan, right? So I think a lot of people who are either new or not as up on AEW watch this pay-per-view. That's just kind of my speculation. I don't think that's super off base. And where was I going with this? I think my point was, I feel like a lot of that crowd might not have known who a Kyle Fletcher was. So I'd be nervous it do one of two things. One, it makes Kyle Fletcher the star, or two, it ends up being like, all these new eyes on All Out end up being like, who the fuck is this guy that just beat Hangman? You know what I mean? Which, like, it's a risk. It's a risk that you play with that
I think it would have dominated the headlines. And, like, of course, you go back to what I was just saying. I was watching both shows at the same time. And the amount of people, because, again, like, here's the thing with the whole Brock thing. I hate to bring it back to the Brock-John Cena match, but the amount of people that, of course, expressed their displeasure with Brock Lesnar winning at WrestlePalooza, #WrestlePalooza, and talking about it and being so mad online, and then proceeding to watch the rest of the show and, getting that clickbait of like tweet or post or whatever of like, oh, Brock Lesnar sucks, this is why he sucks, this and that. What percentage of people these days are not smart to the business anymore? Everyone pretty much is now.
Right.
And to get that classic anger from a wrestling fan, again, say what you want, because I've seen people kind of be pressed with this question a while, and it's like, oh, you're getting worked. Like, oh, you're mad? See, it's working. I think there's something to that. I think there's something too with like us as grown men and grown women watching this sport and be taken away from it and getting actually mad is such a lost art, and it's a thing that is.
Wait, in terms of the Brock Lesnar, like, what's it called, a
result?
squash?
Yeah, the result of it, and like how it was done, and it's like it's so hard to get a genuine upset wrestling fan these days, because we all know it's a work. Because back in the day, people would be upset with the result because they thought it was generally real and like this stuff was happening and whatever. Getting that result from Brock, I think, played into the WWE's hand, and that's why they did it. It got people talking.
Oh, 100%.
So
it's why I like
negatively. Sometimes I just bringing it back to the Fletcher. If Fletcher gets the crown here, I think that is such a positive, shocking result that would be universally talked about by everyone. It would look so much better too in comparison to what happened at WrestlePalooza, where Brock Lesnar, this sucks. Like I'm not even gonna watch WWE anymore. Over exaggerating for the majority of people that were upset with it, but still, like I think it was there for the taking. I do.
Well, two things. One, to AEW's credit, you almost got to respect them not reaching out for a headline.
Sure.
There's like, you know what? We're just going to put a good wrestling show on. We're not going to do the shocking thing for the sake of shocking thing, which granted, you can debate whether that would have been a shocking thing for the shocking thing or not. But second thing is the Brock Lesnar Cena match did remind me a little bit of, I think, was it when Goldberg like squashed Brock or something
upon his return, Survivor Series 2016. Yeah.
So, and like, during it, I think a lot of people were like, what the fuck? Da-da-da. Looking back on it, me, and I've seen a lot of people are like, no, I loved that moment. Because it was a terrible match, but it was a car crash. It was exciting. It was shocking. And you come out of that being like, we're talking about it X amount of years later. Of like, remember when Goldberg fucking squashed Brock? That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about like how many stars that match got. Yeah. So that's why Brock coming out and basically, it wasn't, I don't think it was a squash. For lack of a better term, I'm calling it a squash.
Just dominant, though.
Dominant.
5 F5s put the guy away.
It's why I think Brock dominating Cena wasn't the craziest thing in the world. Because again, like I said, it reminded me of that. And it was like, it's what people are going to talk about, whether it's, you call it headline grabbing or not. But again, I think the bigger conversation now is like, again, not to full circle it. We don't got to answer this now, so we already kind of talked about it. But I'm just like, where do you go with after? Sure, you got the headline, great. You got, and WWE does this a lot, and that's an even bigger conversation than we've had also in the past of like, WWE is so headline driven. They're so moments driven, but they don't plan. They don't even plan before the moment. They don't plan after the moment. So I think that's a lot of the criticism and the problem too. We're like, sure, you got the big Brock squash match and but like, now what? Now what are you doing with Cena? Now what are you doing with Brock? And those are things we're gonna find out in the next coming months. But yeah,
Palooza was and like that's why I'm thinking like All Out was good, but usually AEW pay-per-views are phenomenal, next level. So I think it was just like both shows were just okay, which is fine. But for me, how much that was talked about going into the weekend of like, oh, counter programming, WWE versus AEW. Mm-hmm. And considering too, you had Tony Storm shockingly lose the world title in the same card. And again, seeing how people like not too many people are talking about that. I really think Kyle Fletcher, this could have been the moment too. I'm not saying have a year-long reign or whatever, but I'm so sure that he is going to be a pillar in this company for 20 years that like, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, Hangman could win it back next month on Dynamite. But like, I think that.
I do appreciate AEW not feeling the pressure.
Sure,
you know, be like, you know what, we're not gonna do this. Granted, you know, if the decision would have been for that reason or not,
short-sighted. That would be a very short-sighted decision in some aspects for sure.
Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. You know, we wouldn't know. We wouldn't know if until seeing that fallout. All right, we are 2 hours into the show. There was stuff on Raw, but like I think we just go right to our wrestler match of the week.
Sure,
and then like we touched on everything important. The only thing we didn't talk about really in terms of Raw was we're getting Dom Rusev next week for the IC title. And then Penta War Raiders versus New Day was a fucking banger. Yeah. The Mexican Destroyer on the top rope was fucking ridiculous. Insane. Fun match. Other than that, I think we touched on everything. Jimmy, what is your match of the week? Let's start there.
My match of the week is Stephanie VAQUER versus Io Sky. It saved WrestlePalooza. It crowned probably. I mean, she has potential to take Io's spot as the GOAT of wrestling right now. I'm telling you, I'm not taking.
We'll see.
I'm not taking away from Io yet.
She did beat her.
She did beat her, but she has a long way to go. No, maybe not too long way to go.
I'm a man that looks at stats. Yeah. You know. Next, I live in fantasy. What'd you say?
I was gonna say next gen stats, like the really overcomplicated statistics of like
I look at next gen stats. I think that's a good pick.
Yeah. How about you?
I went with the 4-way AEW tag ladder match.
Hell yeah!
It's the match I had the most fun with. I had a fucking ball. It was between
6-man on Raw. I thought that might have snuck in there for you.
It was like if we didn't have All Out, like it would have probably been match of the week. But I was between the ladder match, Fletcher Hangman, and the women's AEW World Title.
Very nice.
But yeah, I had a fucking ball. All right, wrestler of the week we got.
I think there's no argument. It's Maxwell Jacob Friedman traveling from Mexico to Canada, fucking 11 hours. Crazy, dude. One of the best promos in the biz, and also in ring wise, very slept on. I think possibly a top 5 in the business today too.
Top 5's even low. Top 3.
Yeah, he's my wrestler of the week. Could be wrestler of the year if he puts his mind to it.
I went a little different. We did have a big discussion of this, but I did end up going my wrestler of the week. Chris Statlander.
Wow.
Strictly for like, again, like say what you will about like the match or like, the result or the shock of it, but more so of just how stoked I am of just like finally getting it. You could tell, getting handed that title, you could tell how much it meant to her. An AEW original, someone that's been long overdue for recognition like this. I mean, she is someone that has been grinding. She's very coming up. I think her and Willow were like very New England / New York indie scene. So like seeing someone who's been on the, beyond wrestling, open wrestling or wrestling open, whatever, scene and getting the AEW world title. And yeah, I think it was a really, really cool moment for her to see her finally get that. And
overcoming 2 like big time knee injuries too. Yeah. Something like I will have immense respect for her forever. I've already started a Dropkick list of our matches of the week. So,
ooh, fun.
So
fun.
if you're on Dropkick, follow Jimmy from the queue and follow the list of wrestler of the week and match of the week on Dropkick.
You can do like a list of wrestlers of the week. Really? Yeah, that's fun. Wow.
Also, we love to hear from you guys if you stuck around for 2 hours, what's your wrestler of the week? What's your match of the week? Let us know. I'm very curious to know.
Absolutely. Folks, that's going to do it for the show. Again, do what Jimmy said. Leave your match and wrestler of the week. Please make sure you subscribe. Leave your likes. Head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. We're going to chat about our weekend. I had a pretty jam-packed weekend. We got questions to answer over there. We're going to be chatting for another hour. And that's it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support as always. We really appreciate all the eyes and ears. And with that said, we'll see you all week on the channel. Catch up on everything you haven't seen. We'll see you next time We'll see you all week. Bye. Goodbye.
Go to the page. I'd mark out for Oba being the TNA champion.
It would kind of fucking rock.
It would kind of rock.
So Matt, my fucking goat, hooks us up. Hit the green monster. Turnstile, baby.
Turned up the turnstile.
This shit fucking rocking. Shout out to the two people I met there. We mutually love bomb. We can mutually love bomb each other.
Yeah.
So we can go apple picking.